Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rob Bitus, and along with Brock Glover, we're about to kick off the 2022 BRL Bagger Racing League from the beautiful Utah Motorsports campus. We've had a year under our belt, Golden Boy, and things have certainly gone to a whole new level. What we're watching right now is a little bit of warm-up going on because these guys get a sighting lap to see what they've battled with all afternoon long.
Absolutely. We have a beautiful drone shot of the overhead of the track, and the riders are out on the track for their first sighting lap and come around and start racing.
These riders will have that sighting lap again. Brock Glover, an AMA Hall of Famer, and you came out here because you wanted to see what all the hype was about. You've heard about it. I'm sure that the folks at your company, Dunlop, as well as everybody's been talking about these big, powerful motorcycles racing around a road racing facility.
I mean, the bikes that we're seeing here today with these big twins, these are bikes you see on the road every day, and it's not, something every man that rides a motorcycle, every woman who rides a motorcycle, whatever it may be, you have something you can relate to. A lot of the bikes, they're, MotoGP, it's fun to watch. It's the Formula One, no question about it, but it's not something that you and I are going to throw our leg over. This, we throw our legs over. We understand this one, so it's great to watch the races.
Nice, big, thick class. This is the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class that we're going to feature first. And again, the sighting lap is something they do each and every round so that they can get familiar with the facility. You said it before, you love a track that doesn't change. Road racing is as consistent as it gets.
It does. I don't know if it's just, I grew up hard pack racing in Southern California in the dirt, but I always liked the tracks that they stayed consistent. The berms weren't changing, all that. In this particular case here, is the track stays consistent, so you can try new lines and new braking points.
Let's look at the track right here. It's 2.2 miles around. It's got some really interesting sections that maybe y'all make it. The Satisfaction, Ecstasy, Agony. They've got all the different names. They've got a first attitude, second attitude, and bad attitude. We even sent some of the guys out the other day to just rip around and give you a look what it's about. And boy, it's truly something special. Tell you folks, we're getting ready to get these riders lined up and to get the grid set up. You hear the machines are starting to move into their spots. Tell you what I think we should do. Let's take a commercial break. And when we come back, we have our first Metzler Pro Stock race of the weekend. The grid is starting to get filled up. The riders are wrapping up their laps. We'll be back after these commercials. I'll tell you what, folks, Daryl Bassani is a big part of it. We had a chance to talk to the Pro Stock Metzler group. Let's find out who's down on the line.
My name's Tony Tucker, bike number 477 in the Pro Stock Bagger class, and I ride for Tucker Speed.
Hi, I'm Steve Chamberlain. I ride number 64 in the Pro Stock Bagger for Screamin' Speed and Fab.
Hi, I'm Rusty Gerard, number 47. I'll be racing in Pro Stock and the Unlimited class for Team Gorilla Cables.
Hi, my name is Mike Vitale. I'm riding the 117 Bagger. I'm riding in the Pro Stock class, and I ride for My Garage Ventura.
Craig Braemiller, Pro Stock Bagger, bike 331, A+ Performance Cycle Racing.
My name is Chris Zemlo. I'm number 13. I'm racing Pro Stock Bagger.
My name's Doug Ramey. I ride in the Pro Stock Bagger class, number 775. I ride for Juniors Motorworks.
Derek Cloutier, 420, Warrior Built Foundation, Metzler Pro Stock.
Chris Rivas, Pro Stock Bagger, number 244, Bassani Racing Team.
I'm Tyler Elliott, number 501, racing the Pro Stock Bagger class. I race with ODB Racing.
I'm Marnie Wells, number 69, racing the Pro Stock Bagger class with Grand Teton Harley Davidson.
Folks, that's the lineup right there. We got a special guest with us in the booth this weekend, Brock Glover. We got Brian Davenport from Metzler, and this is the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class, and we have the riders down on the line. Looks like they pulled everybody off the grid, and the green flag has been thrown. Here we go, drag race. Arnie Wells, Tony Tucker on the outside. Chris Rivas, a national drag racer, Golden Boy, coming up on the inside.
Yeah, Tony Tucker there was our pole sitter, and he ended up getting not the best jump off the pole position there, but he's sitting in second place. Local Tony Tucker has a local Tucker Speed shop here in town in Salt Lake City, so I think he might have a little home track advantage.
Brian Davenport, they're heading out into the back of the track, and I know you folks at Metzler pride yourself on working with some of the best in the business. These guys right here are truly putting the Metzler product to the test.
Absolutely, Rob. Yeah, I got to give a shout out specifically to Chris Zamlo out there. He literally taped his bike up, rode it here, and he's out there on a set of stock cruise techs, and all he was concerned about was what is he going to do after the race, because he's not sure he can find a new rear after this race is over.
We had qualifying yesterday, Brock Glover, and these riders were starting to find some hot lines through the section. But right now, it looks like Arnie Wells and Tony Tucker, they're trying to break away from the field.
Yeah, these are probably the two more accomplished riders in this field, and I think I do expect them to do that. I mean, Arnie has a lot of track time and raced quite a bit. And for the Grand Teton Harley-Davidson shop, I believe.
Oh, yeah, they do a great job out there. Tony Tucker has his own dealership right in Ogden, Utah. And look at the battle shaping up in the 3, 4, and 5 position back there. Arnie Wells isn't looking in his rearview mirror, though. I think he has a little bit of tunnel vision right now. He's looking to keep that machine up front.
Yeah, I mean, Arnie, Grand Tetons are not far from here. I'm sure this is one of his local tracks, too, that he's got plenty of laps on. And again, Tony Tucker, I think, wants to keep him involved. Tony, this is a family affair for the Tucker family. I mean, his wife's here, his 4 kids are here, and they're all part of his pit crew, so it's fantastic to see such a family effort.
They're going to have to do a little workout here, Brian. You know that these guys, and that's what I'm talking about right there. Arnie goes to the inside. Did he scrub off a little too much speed as we're back up on the drone, chase him over 100 miles an hour down the front straight?
Yep, it's going to be interesting to see as the race goes on if they change their race line any compared to what they were doing yesterday in qualifying.
You know, and you mentioned this earlier, Brock, and we talked about it. The race lines seldom change on this track unless we have some spillage or something like that. So once these riders start to find where their braking points are and things, it's just replication is what they need to focus on.
Yeah, it's hitting their, we call it hitting their marks, their braking points, making sure if I'm braking at the 1.5 marker or the 2 marker, that's where you need to be. And as you see right here, Tony Tucker's closing in on Arnie, and we're going to see a nice battle for the lead. This is big bragging rights right here.
This will be the first points-paying race of 2022, Brian, and these riders all want to walk away with maximum points today. They're all chasing that elusive BRL #1 plate, and we'll be handing those out at Daytona later in October. If you look across the top, we got Wells, Tucker. How about Steve Chamberlain, number 64 back there? We'll get a chance to hone in on him. Guy builds his bike, put 500 miles on it at midnight just so he could have the motor broke in. Then he usually rides to the events, races. I mean, just a guy that's really the salt of the earth. And they've started to break away from that battle back in 3, 4, and 5. It's Arnie Wells and Tony Tucker. Do you think Tony's maybe laying back right now and make a late run, or has Arnie Wells found a little something extra in that road glide?
I don't think there's any laying back here. There's not time for it. You can't let somebody get away from your. The draft isn't that critical of these 500-plus pound machines. So, I don't think right here. I don't think Tony wants him to get away. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know as well as everybody else, it's all about the hardware. That's what these guys are chasing. It's all about getting the hardware at the end of the day.
They want that big BRL belt. Speaking of big, our buddy out there, number 47, that is Gerard. That's Rusty Gerard, and he's doing a great job. He's on a 2017 Road King Special. Tyler Elliott's out there. There are a lot of road glides. And Brock, the reason I think the road glide seems to be the bike of choice, the fixed fairing. It doesn't get that buffering the way one of the Batwing fairing would.
No question, the aerodynamics are actually pretty important out here, even as big as these bikes are. So it's something to make sure the fairing, and we talked about the Bager GP class. I mean, that's a fixed design size fairing. It has to be original OE stock, but these guys get to play with theirs a little bit more than that.
It looks like Tony Tucker has found a way to chip away slightly at what's going on, and we look down there to the starting line. The white flag is the flag that they're looking for first, and then the checkers. These riders will go 6 laps, and that'll put them into a spot where they'll head down to the podium. We'll have our buddy Brian Davenport go down and hand out the hardware on behalf of the Metzler crew. Arnie Wells has found a nice pace up front. He's not looking around. You'll watch a lot of racers, they feel the pressure. They'll start looking over their shoulder at things. You get them doing that, you know that you're in his head already, and Arnie doesn't seem phased at all.
Well, they both did their best lap on that last lap right there. Was right there you have the situation. Arnie Wells was just a couple of tenths faster than Tony Tucker on the 477 bike, and it's just he's pulling away slightly. I know Tony needs to keep him inside as close as he can, but Arnie's just inching away right now, and that's not what Tony wants to see.
Well, not now, because the race is starting to get a little long in the tooth right now. These riders have found their way out into the clean air. I know there's some battles shaping up just a bit farther back in the pack, and that individual would be Chamberlain, the drag race legend Chris Rivas, and of course the number 47 of Rusty Gerard. Mike Vitel's out there, Craig Braymiller, Tyler Elliott, Christopher Zimlo, Derek Coulter, number 420, Doug Ramsey, Doug came to our first event, and when he was here, he said, I'm going to buy a bike. I want to get out there and do it. And he's out here in the number 11 spot. And Carson Cofer, a local out of Salt Lake City, runs the number 12 spot.
It's always easier to run from second place, that's for certain. In my opinion, it is. At least you can watch the guy ahead of you, see where he's doing the right thing or wrong thing. That leader is always looking over his shoulder or just kind of sensing, like, where am I doing this corner deep enough? Am I not? And maybe I'm going to try to take it a little bit deeper, and what ends up happening is you make a mistake and then you cause up more problems. But right here, it looks like, I don't know, Arnie Wells just has enough of a cushion right now. He's going to be running out of track if Tony Tucker doesn't get back on the gas in that beautiful blue, kind of a teal. He's got a day glow frame. It's something you don't miss. But this is a section that's quite quick, and the checkers are coming out right now.
And wait till you see the checkered flag. Arnie Wells. Arnie Wells takes the Metzler Pro Stock win with Tony Tucker tucked in right behind him. They got a lap rider. It's going to be Chamberlain, Rivas, or Gerard that holds them off. We wait, and here comes the rider in the number 3 spot. Tony Tucker and Arnie Wells are just pumped as can be. It's going to be Steve Chamberlain down on the podium. I truly cannot wait to see how excited he is right now as he gets down on the podium, and these two right now kind of just letting it soak in, if you will.
Yeah, Tony Tucker made up a half a second on that last lap, and but it just wasn't quite enough. He ended up just getting nipped over the line by, I think it looked 6/10 of a second is what the official scoring had it as. But what a fantastic race to kick off the 2022 BRL season.
Absolutely. It actually looks like Tony Tucker got his best lap was actually almost a second faster than Wells' lap. So he actually had a faster lap out there, but he might have just held back just a little bit too long. He just couldn't make it up.
Yep, held back a little bit too long, or he just finally started figuring things out at that race pace. It's one thing about practicing and racing. You've got two different things here.
Here comes another little battle of the finish line. That's the 775 of Doug Ramey and Christopher Zemlo. Ramey holds him off. That's for position number 9. And position number 10 as we start to round out the top 10. 775. Again, this guy really impressed by the fact that he came to the first race here at Utah last year, went and bought a bike, built a bike, and he's part of the scene now. He's really, really into it.
That is so fun. I mean, think about it. He's going to go home Monday, and he's going to tell everybody, what'd you do this week? Oh, I went racing at the Utah
Exactly.
Motorsports.
Let's look at the top 10. In 10th, it was Christopher Zemlo. Tyler Elliott, 501, finished 9th. Doug Ramey in 8th. Greg Braymiller, 331, finished in the number 7 spot. Mike Vitale, the 117, was 6th. Chris Rivas, 244, 5th. Rusty Gerard, nice job. It's his first time with us, and we hope to see him more. In the number 4 spot, how about Steve Chamberlain? I think the internet's going to break right now when they find out one of their favorites has finished in the number 3 spot. Tony Tucker, one of your favorites, Golden Boy.
Yeah, I got to spend a little time with Tony at the Salt Lake City Supercross last weekend, and he had his bike on display and helped promoting the race, and he's such a nice guy, good family guy. As mentioned, he has all of his family, his wife, 4 kids. It's fantastic.
The background scenery here, mountains surround this beautiful Utah Motorsports campus facility.
Nope, and Mother Nature is cooperating today. I mean, we're 4,400 feet in elevation here at the Utah Motorsport campus, and the fact that we had a little snow here in the local mountains, that's what you see on the peaks. There was snow much lower than that on Monday and Tuesday around this region up here, and today is absolutely Chamber of Commerce Day, and it's 70 degrees, short sleeve, and everybody careful.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better day or better condition.
Folks, I tell you what, we'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will be ready to go with the Icon Lightweights class. Tom Motzko in the booth. We'll be back after these commercials. Well, we're back live here. Myself, Brock Glover, and Tom Motzko. Now, we briefly talked about Tom coming up just a few moments ago. And Tom, you've had a very unique career. You've worked with, whether it's Arlen Ness and Don Hotop and some of the greatest names in the V-twin world. And you basically not only grew up with them, but you walked step by step with them for 40 plus years.
These were friends of mine over all these years, and not only were they friends, but they helped us develop the company as it is today. We did a lot in conjunction with Arlen Ness, Don Hotop, Tank from Tough Cycle. I could name you off a half a dozen other ones. These are all friends of ours, and they helped us build Drag Specialties along with Fred Fox and Jeff Fox and those folks. So it's been, just a wonderful trip for all of us.
He's literally had one of the hardest jobs. Me, I'm a chatterbox. He knows about the coolest thing that's coming out. But here's the thing. He knows about it a whole year before it comes out. How do you keep a secret like that?
Yeah, well, it's tough because it is a secret, but it's fun having a new product that nobody really knows about, and then being able to release it and do all the marketing and have the product available in the barn for sale to dealers and ultimately consumers that would buy the product, like folks that are here today.
You know, you talk about picking up the product. You go into, it's in the thousands how many locations you have that you could buy drag specialty products. Motorcycle shops exclusive.
Yep.
It's not like you're going to go into an auto parts store or something. You go into a motorcycle dealership. The catalog is so big, folks, that they can't bind it anymore. They've had to break it down into a few different books.
Yes, we have an old book that has all the Shovelhead, Panhead, Evolution, and some of the Ironhead Sportsters, and then we have the Fat Book, which is iconic, and that one has all the twin cam, and now Pan America and some of the later model ones. So it's we're even at that juncture right now where we have to try and figure out what are we going to do with these new Sportsters, some of these new bikes that are coming out. What the heck are we going to do with those? You're absolutely right.
I tell you what, you're talking about some of the bikes that we have. We had a chance to cruise around down in the garage a little bit earlier today. Let's go find out what we found when we were looking around.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Lori Armistead, and I'm here with Brandon Quaid, and we're talking about the Icon Lightweight V-Twin class. Give me a little bit of description about not just the bike, but the class as well, please.
Well, the class is a 1200 and under class, so it's a really cool class to come out and for anybody that's riding a Harley that wants to come out and not spend $20,000-$30,000, you know, you get yourself a Sportster and you come out and you start racing. But you know, we can put in some really good heater laps on these. So, you know, I picked up this XR 1200 that was actually raced on the series for AMA. You know, what it really comes down to is, you know, you don't have to have the biggest motor to be the fastest. You know, I believe in your suspension. Everything matters. You know, so. You know, us lightweights out here, we're putting in some heater laps this week, so I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Is there anything that you did special for the bike to really set you and your team ahead?
Well, but I'm not going to tell you, you know, because we got the secret sauce in here. So, no, you know, really tall shocks, 16.5-inch shocks in the front. You know, like any Harley, if anybody's interested in doing this, because I love what I love about BRL. Anybody can come out and race. Everybody thinks, oh, we've been doing this forever. I've been at this for a year and a half. But when it comes down to your Harleys, you're thinking about it, raise them up. Get your suspension dialed, and you can come run some hot laps.
Yeah, and you have one of the largest teams, Quaid Harley-Davidson. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
How about Lori and Brandon down there showing you what's going on with the bikes now? We have these riders out on the track. They're getting their sighting lap, and you're looking down on the grid. What's happening down here on the grid is that these mechanics will wait for them. Some of these bikes are so tall they have to catch them when they come back.
Yeah, he talked about the fact that you need to have the bike elevated to get the thing to where you can lean over and not drag parts and pegs, primaries, whatever it may be. So they actually raise the bikes. I mean, it's almost like lifting your pickup truck, and it helps them get around the track much faster.
One of the funniest things when you talk to a lot of people, they thought that on the baggers, especially the saddlebags, were going to hit. It's the primary that sticks out the farthest. That was the thing. So now we see them going to belt drives and shaving them, and as you raise the bike, then obviously there becomes more ground clearance. But these lightweight bikes, most of the XR frame ones, there's some Buells out there, they're okay on the ground clearance just as they come, but once you dial them in, they're going to be something pretty wild. Now, there's some great guys out there, Salt Lake City, but there's one guy that you know pretty well that said, hey, Supercross is over. I might as well stick around 4 days and race Harleys, too.
That's awesome. The number 910 of Carson Brown. I mean, this guy, his family's, they build mini bikes, BBR, the little custom mini motorbikes. Carson can ride anything. He's a fun follow on social media. They just build bikes. That's what they love to do. I mean, he literally just built like a tribute bike to the bike I raced in 1989 KTM 250, and it is just beautiful bike. But he just likes to ride everything. And Carson's very talented. talented, comes out here, gets on this bike, and he's 12 to 14 seconds off pace, and that's after he went through the school. And I think at that point, he was thinking to himself, what did I sign up for? And within no time at all, 3 sessions on the track, he sets the pole position. So it's just a fantastic display of talent, and I can't wait to watch the number 910. You see him on our screen right here in the upper forward left-hand corner, and he's sitting on pole.
I'll tell you what, folks, let's find out all of the Icon Lightweight Twins riders.
My name is Bert Bledsoe. I race number 526 for the Light Twins class for Juniors Motorworks.
My name is Anthony Gonzalez, racing Lightweight Twins class, number 555, Gorilla Cables.
Tyler Baker, number 984, racing Lightweight V-Twin for Olympic Ironworks.
I'm Ron Schinke, number 828, riding in the Lightweight Twins class. My sponsors are Dyno Steve, Town & Country Roofing, and Olympic Ironworks.
I'm Michael Kelly, number 454, riding in the Lightweight Twins class for the Bagger Racing League, riding for K&B Motorsports and Defiant Manufacturing.
Michael Acuna, 797, Lightweight Twins.
Hi, I'm Cody Melton. I'm number 11. I'm racing in the Lightweight Twins, and I'm racing for my team Moosecraft, Jiffy Tune, and Lindahl Brakes.
Hey, Joe Sanderson, Drag Specialties Rep 101, race number 101, racing Lightweight Twins class, and from Southington, Ohio.
Hey, it's Brandon Quaid. My race number is 900. I'm racing lightweight division, Quaid Racing Team, Quaid Harley Davidson.
Carson Brown, 910, Lightweight Twins, Suburban Harley Davidson.
My name is Carson Cofer, number 160, racing in the Lightweight Twins. I race for Tucker Speed, Burley Brown, Lowbrow Customs, Galfa Rotors.
Dylan Wall, 519, Lightweight Twins.
I'm Joe Gale, number 507. I'm riding Lightweight Twins, and I'm racing with Quaid Racing Team.
Hi, my name is Gregory Stinnett. I'm riding Lightweight Twins and the Unlimited class on the number 816 for Lindahl Brakes, Law Tigers, Lower Outlet Performance Machine, and Vittori Speed Shop.
My name is Brandon Colford. I race the Lightweight Twins, number 152. My title sponsor is Tucker Speed.
I tell you what, we had a chance to introduce them. These guys got quick on the start. They jumped out front. Guess who grabbed the whole shot?
I can tell you right now, Carson Brown knows when he races professional Supercross, and he's had multiple top 10s this year in the 2022 Monster Energy Supercross Series. He knows how critical a start is in Supercross, and he didn't even hesitate today.
Not hesitate. He went out and knocked off, 17, 18 seconds from when he first went out after school to now?
Yeah, today alone he took off over 10 seconds on his best lap time from yesterday. So that's an eternity in road racing.
It certainly is. We got some battles shaping up back there. Some passes happening quickly as they know that if they let the 910, he's on the Suburban Harley. Joe Hupp built that bike, brought it out here. There are so many strong competitors in there. The 816, Greg Stennett, he's a regular in this, and he has to be going, what am I going to do to latch onto the back of this young kid that comes all the way out of the Pac Northwest?
Yeah, he looks like it. Greg looks like he's closing, or maybe just keeping it consistent. I mean, Carson got most of his jump in the first 2 or 3 corners. But you're talking about his sponsor there. I mean, out of Suburban Harley Davidson, north of Milwaukee there, and he's got a whole slew of tire bikes out. He's Benny Carlson's sponsor on the number 45. Benny Carlson, 2-time champion, I think, in BRL, past supermoto rider. He's a very talented motorcycle rider, and so they're keeping they got a whole group of bikes down under that pit.
So they're coming through. They're going to be tripping the first time lap. Carson Brown in the full tuck. He has himself out front. He said the guys from Icon said, hey, if you're coming, we might as well send you a helmet and a set of leathers we just custom made for you. So he threw those on. Kurt Walter, we wish he could join us out here. He's a great guy. But Carson said, okay, I'm feeling pretty special. I might as well ride pretty special. Second place is the 113 of Murphy. This guy, Alcatraz swimmer for the military, does all the CI. I mean, this is a bad boy right here. He runs in the number 2 spot. Wall, the 519. Melton, number 11. Gale, 507's out there. This 828, Ron Schinke. Brandon Coford, local boy out of Salt Lake City. Dustin Slade. Michael Kelly, the 454. Lenny Howard, 551. Carson Coford, 160. And the rep You know this guy, don't
I do.
you, Tom?
Yeah,
Who
I
is
do.
that?
That's Joe Sanderson. I hired him.
Rep 101.
Yeah.
That means he's pretty early on in the food chain.
Yes,
With him
sir.
and Bobby Pickard, maybe.
Yeah, I hired him.
I bet the folks at home right now are having a good time. We want to obviously wish our friend Fred Fox and Paula. They helped pioneer this, obviously. Thanks, Fred. And then, we were hearing from all the reps that were tuning in and the regional managers. They're like, we're checking this out. Tell Tom we said hey.
Well, we got Woody here from Boulder City, from Nevada.
Oh, yeah, they all came out. We got regionals, we got locals. Craig's here from the Salt Lake area, so what a battle. Carson Brown has to be going, wait a minute, I'm not hugging the inside, I'm not block passing, there's no whoops to skim. I mean, for him, his wrist actually probably feels good.
It was funny. I was talking to Carson earlier this morning. I looked at his knee puck. I go, you got a little skid mark here? Are you laying it over far enough? And he's like, it was not yet. And then after he got done with setting pole position, I went back and looked. Yep, finally dragging it. And his dad, Dwayne, is here with him, giving him support. And Dwayne said, yes, he really made a difference when he started hanging off the bike a little. You could see he's throwing his knee out there. But this is uncharted territory and uncharted waters for him to be rubbing his knee or hanging off the bike like that. This is not the style you do in Supercross.
No, he's doing a nice job out there. And for a guy that has never, we were talking this morning, I'm like, what about, I had a moped. I'm like, what? He goes, I've never ridden on a street. I just ride the dirt. So he's ridden a moped, went to race school, and now he's leading the Icon Lightweight Twins. So that's pretty solid work. I think maybe Kurt Walter knew who he was sponsoring today.
He knew better.
He did. Yeah. Look at this little battle shaping up. So that's Carson Brown.
Number 910.
And then look at this little war shaping up out here. All Sportster based, air cooled. Some of them are running a big bore kit, so we're going to see if. And look at the two different setups. We have one kind of traditional road race, and that is the 519. Check that. Is it the? Yes, Wall. Wall's going after Greg Stinnett right now, and Wall has some good lines. Stinnett's kind of more of an upright sitting position on his bike, and it looks like Wall may have a little bit of an advantage as he's able to cut the corners a little bit tighter.
Yeah, it's a great observation there, Rob. I mean, Wall's bikes, and his bars are lower. He's in a much more traditional road race position. He's probably much more comfortable in that position, where Stinnett is much higher. His bars are more traditional, kind of a almost motocross level height bar there. So you see quite a difference, and I think the aerodynamics, no question about Wall, would be better. But no fairings. 1,200 cc's. What's a big bore? How big can you go here?
I think they're around a 1250. SNS has a kit for them. Yep. Look at this. Using that outside in, and it pulls them up to the inside. Now we've got a drag race.
You got
Sportster on Sportster crime down the front straight.
Looks like Stinnett's bike. That's a big bore right there. He looks like he's got a little more horsepower. What do you think?
He's after it.
Yep. You rode the King's Class. You know what the 500cc little extra juice will do for you, right?
Exactly. It's always nice to have a little extra power on the competitors, right?
Greg Stinnett doing a great job out there, but he's got so much company in the 519 at Wall. Carson Brown, I think he's lonely yet. He's by himself.
Well, he looks like he's kind of, we talked about hitting his marks and getting the apexes corrected. I mean, it's just something that he's not familiar with doing, and now he's settled in finally in there and able to pull out a bit of a lead.
These Sportsters out here change the wheels, maybe go with 17s, put some good springs in it, nice oversized rotors, some good calipers, put a tune on it, a pipe, and this is the one. This is your favorite class, huh?
It is my favorite class. Honestly, I was telling Rob at dinner last night, we went to dinner, I'm like, this is the class that needs to be pushed, because this racing is getting so expensive anymore, and you see it more in the motocross, and it's just gotten to where it's just hard for people to afford, and I want to see a lot of people take part in this and enjoy it, and how you can do that is making it affordable.
I think we just had a pass up there. We'll get a little bit closer look as the riders work their way into the back section, and we had some riders that are really bringing the heat today. Somebody about to go a lap down, and I think he's going to get the Malachi sandwich right there, but no, he's able to, and it is. They go around him on both sides. And we see that the machines out there, I think that's Wall that's made the move around Stinnett.
I agree. You see his riding style again, the lower bar is more tucked over, traditional like sport bike position almost on the lightweight twin here.
So the 519 of Wall and the 816 of Stinnett, they've moved up the leaderboard here. wait for the scoring and timing to catch up. We do our best. We're out here in a little bit of nowhere, and sometimes the internet plays a little havoc on things and doesn't exactly get us immediately up to speed. But the last race, man, what a battle. Now this one's turning into a tiny bit of a runaway, but there's some battles all around the facility right now. See, Icon Lightweight Twins. So Tom, when you're looking at these, the Sportster market, before it would be something that people would build up, but it maybe wait till the FXR. Anymore, the new water-cooled ones and things, we'll see those later. Has the aftermarket company caught up yet with those?
Well,
Are they getting there?
They're getting there, and it's definitely on the radar for sure. Those bikes are really going to be something. I mean, there's a lot of horsepower there, and the sitting position on them is excellent. So we're really looking forward to having a few of them. We're trying to get one ourselves.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know they're tough to get when drag specialties go.
Yeah.
You got to find one, you know?
Yeah, no, I think everybody's really excited about that whole new genre of bikes.
And we're going to see those. We've got another battle shaping up here. These guys are doing work right now. And you see them, the transmission, the braking, and he just went around the outside. That's the 816 and the 519. So Stinnett and Wall. It's kind of like a little bit of a Ferris wheel right now. They just keep going around.
They are, absolutely. Apologize a little bit on the top of the screen. The 910, it says Carlson. Benny Carlson and Carson Brown are on the same team, and I don't know if they swapped their transponder out. We're going we're going to have to manually change it, but it is 910. That's Carson Brown. For any of you watching Supercross, you understand Carson Brown. And Greg Stinnett and Dylan Wall right now on the 519, 816 are having one heck of a battle for second place.
Hey, Brandon Quaid's having a heck of a ride as well. Brandon Quaid owns one of the bigger racing teams. It looks like he might have just got around Cody Melton. Brandon Quaid may have moved up into spot number 4 right now. So, man, you go to Riverside, California, stop in and say, hey, Brandon, let me see your trophy from DRL.
Yeah, even a San Diego boy knows Quaid Harley Davidson there. How many bikes were in that?
9. They brought 9 race
I was about
bikes.
to say, it was more than I could almost count by both hands, that's for certain.
I know that Rob Bloom will be pumped because Suburban Harley brought 7. So, I mean, it's a race to see who has the most race bikes. Yeah. The white flag is waving, so we are on the white flag lap. We never want to miss the checkers ever again. We did that one time. We promise to never do it again. And we wait for the leaders, and that is going to be Carson Brown to make his way down to the checkered flag. And it looks like Stinnett and Wall are going to be the ones that try to battle it out. Who's going to get into this podium spot?
I know last lap when they crossed the start-finish line, they were 0.4 of a second separating.
Joe Sanderson on the all-black bike, the 555 machine. That is Anthony Gonzalez, and the 984, Tyler Baker. Joey Sanderson working that inside. Brought his whole family out here. They drove 3 days to get here. Made the big trip from Ohio. We're waiting for Carson Brown to come back into view. He's got all the orange, and watch the checkered flag go. Robert, let him home, bring him in.
I gotta look at that. I gotta figure out
and
that.
Carson Brown
baby.
takes the win without even a fist pump. Let's go back and check out who's going to grab that number 2 spot, and it appears, those guys are pumped. It's going to be Greg Stinnett over Dylan Wall by about a bike length for the top 3.
No, it looks like Wall went by.
Did Wall get him at the... He did. So. He got Stinnett right at the thing we hit refresh, and it happened that quick. So Greg Stinnett able to make the pass on Wall.
No, by Dylan Wall second. Sorry.
It was?
Yeah,
all
Wall.
right, so Wall hold down. So he was able to... Geez, oh, man, this thing topsy-turvy today.
These guys were so close on the last lap. They're on the second. They finished within the same second. That was a fantastic run.
That's fantastic, and the riders continue to cross the line. I got to think that right now Carson Brown's thinking, what happened? What just happened? I got my license yesterday, and I'm already winning a race today.
He graduated from elementary school yesterday, basically, and he got thrown in the deep end and pulls off a win. That is truly impressive. Everybody that knows him and followed him, he's such a talented rider. He's one of the very best mini bike riders, like in mini moto, and that there is in the U.S. for certain. And he's always the hired gunman if there's any big serious mini moto. And then he rides around, and I saw him riding in the snow a week or so ago, and he raced Supercross and top 10, and he can ride anything with wheels and an engine. He's got it.
Well, he's coming around to take the checker flag. I think we pay the commercial break, and when we come back, we'll find out what happens on the podium. We'll be back with more from the BRL Utah Motorsports campus in just a moment. Well, gang, I tell you what, the podium is where all the action's going right now. They're getting the bikes lined up. Look at the smile on Carson Brown's face and the rest of the riders. And in just a moment, we'll head down there. They'll get the bikes set up on the stands. You see they move them around in there. Tim Cotter down there, he's having a good time down there. He's going, hey, Carson, this worked out pretty well for us, you know?
Yeah, Tim Cotter's been so involved in, MX Sports, Racer Promotions. He's Loretta Lynn's. We call him the governor. I mean, he's literally worked with politicians all the way down to Miss Loretta Lynn herself. And,
You mean Hall of Famer Loretta Lynn,
yes.
And not the Country Music Hall. I'm talking
AMA
Hall
Motorcycle Hall of Fame for all she's done to our sport. The amateur racing's best. Carson, just a great sportsman. Congratulating our second-place finisher. There you go, bud.
Greg Stinnett, that's a great personality. That guy has so much fun. He's such a great – he just lights up a room down there. And my man Wall, look at him. He's excited. He's had a good time. He's pumped. He'll be handing out the hardware shortly down there. I believe it's going to be in there getting the toolbox autographed. Now, Eddie Cole. You know Eddie Cole,
yes,
right? Friend of ours.
Of course.
And he's been awesome. They're going to be raffling that off. Not raffling, I guess auctioning, I guess it would be.
For Road to Recovery.
On Road to Recovery. So
there you go.
That's what we're doing. Lauren Bauer down there getting all that handled from the folks. And, Lori, she does a great job of keeping everybody in the loop.
Yep, that's absolutely.
And we're going to have an opportunity to find out what's going on. Stinnett got his country hat on. Let's go down on the podium to Kristen Banks. Kristen, who you with down there?
Thanks, guys. Right now, I'm down here with Paul Langley with Drag Specialties, who will be presenting the Icon Lightweight Twins trophy to each of these guys. Thanks, Paul, for being here. We're going to start with third place. We have Greg Stinnett. Greg, we are so happy to see you here. For you, this is an entire family affair. You have your entire family backing you. What does it feel like to come back to Utah and be on the podium again this year?
Oh, it feels great for mine and all my family's hard work to come ahead and be on the podium. It's great.
Do you have any sponsors that you would like to shout out that helped get you here today?
I would like to thank Law Tigers, Lindell Brakes, Rutlet Performance Machine, Motoria Speed Shop, and Icon for hooking me up with this sweet lid for the race.
Well, congratulations on a third place finish. Now we're going to go over here to a different story. We have in second place Dylan Wall. Dylan, you were with us here last year in Utah, but you did not make the podium. This year, you're standing on the podium. What does that mean to you?
No, this was awesome. I just put a lot of hard work into it. I came on a bike that I wasn't prepared to ride on, and I did well. It was really nice.
What adjustments did you make before you got here this weekend?
I blew up a motor last weekend, and I am running the stock 86 1100 in that bike right now. That was the biggest change. It was not what I wanted, but it worked out.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the weekend. This is Carson Brown, who was here racing Monster Energy Supercross last weekend. The kid has never been on a street bike until this weekend. Congratulations, Carson. You won first place. The first time you've ever been on a street bike. How did you make that happen?
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got to thank the whole Suburban Motors Harley-Davidson crew. They really, I came out here, I had no idea what I was doing yesterday, and they showed me every ounce of the way, and Barry and all those guys, man, it's been a super fun experience, and I'm super grateful for it.
All right, for the people at home that race Supercross and race dirt bikes, what is the main difference? How can they get out here and be like you on the top of the podium?
Yeah, it's all about momentum here and scoping out the lines and everything. So, there's a lot in common, but there's obviously a lot different. But, sometimes you just got to pin it.
Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. This is your first, second, and third place finishers of the lightweight twin class.
Nice job down there. Carson Brown picks up the win. Top three will have an opportunity to do a little bit of the hat dance down there. They'll be excited. what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we got another group getting ready to head out to the starting line. We'll be back with more Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Custom Dynamics. Well, we're back live here, and there's a little bit of snow cap still up in the mountains. We thought that 75 degrees would have got rid of all that. We've got a new guest with us in the studio. It's always fun. My friend Dan Hawk. Now, listen, Dan Hawk and his wife are some of the most passionate people about performance and power that I know. They like hot rod cars, hot rod bikes. Dan actually bought one of the old Drag Specialties Road Kings he still rides around. So you know he's like the coolest guy in his neighborhood. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks, Rob. Great to be here.
Now, you have a pretty interesting job as well. You buy all the parts once they're decided. You go, hey, I think we're going to sell 1 billion of these or 500,000 of those. And
exactly. Yep.
You put the orders in. What's coming? What are people really clamoring towards right now?
Well, I tell you what, this whole performance bagger thing is taken on a life of its own. Street bike builds with a performance tune to them, and we're trying to find all the cool stuff to make that happen.
You know, you talk about ergonomics, brakes, suspension, motors. The FS Cup, so what we did was we took the FTRs, which are liquid-cooled Indians, technology, not tradition, like we were talking earlier, and the new Pan American, again, technology-based, all liquid-cooled, single shock, aluminum components, upside-down forks. They all come with them. These things are kind of a race bike in a box.
Yeah.
They absolutely. These bikes, Rob, create incredible amount of performance. It must be almost twice as much horsepower the original V-twins came out with, and performance is fantastic.
Yeah, it's super cool what Harley and Indian are doing with some of these new bikes. The technology and the performance is way above what we're used to seeing with the older V-twins and Sportsters. It's changing the market.
Well, back in the day, it wasn't uncommon to hear of an FXR or something have a 60, 70 horsepower, and you'd cam it up and stuff, and 85, maybe 90. Now, these things come stock with $140.
Yeah, you were the king of the hill if you had 90 horsepower.
Oh, out of 80 inches? Yeah, you can pretty much go out there and show it.
You were the man.
Then you'd pick up an aftermarket big bore stroker motor, and the next thing you know, you'd have a 124 in there.
And you hope it hung together.
Absolutely. Well, American quality. So we look around. We got the FS Cup class that's coming up next, and these will be the FTRs. Now, the FTRs have been around just a little bit longer than Harley really has with their liquid-cooled engines, and I think it's a little tighter package. It might be a bit more flickable.
Yeah, the Pan American motor, I know it's new, and some of the teams are even used to carburetor jetting, ignition pipe. That was your tune. Now you got to have your little laptop. You got to deal with you got to wait a minute. I've got an LED readout here that I got to pay attention to. Do I have it in rain mode? Do I have it in sport mode? There's a lot more to tuning these modern bikes, but boy, do they get around the track quickly.
Well, it's super cool to see some of these down there in the paddock today. That to realize that started out as a Pan American. It doesn't look anything like it anymore. But
I was just reading the latest issue of Cycle News, and they had a shootout of the big twin, and the Pan American was featured in one of the big adventure bikes. And now to realize, and I come into the pits and I'm seeing these bikes, on the racetrack and slicks on them, they're no longer an adventure bike.
No, that's not off-roading there.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing about an adventure bike. When you build it, it's supposed to be the most competent at everything. You're supposed to be able to ride it off-road, on-road, Jeep trails, fire roads. We've seen guys, they're doing double. Everybody's starting to kind of almost trials ride them now. Have you seen any of those guys?
Crazy.
That's something where, you're talking about all the balance and technique and skill in the world. But now we're going to see them in action out here on the road course. And the FS Cup guys, so we're going to have guys like Corey West. We're going to have riders like Benny Carlson are going to come out. A couple of the other ones, we'll have Dustin Slade and Corey Kuhn, who's going to be riding Robbie Lane's Alloy Art bike. Now, here's the thing. This isn't our biggest class, but it's our newest class. First time we did it, we had 3. Patricia Fernandez picked up the win. She was the champ. Last year came to an end. This year we've grown to 6. I think next time will be 12 to 10. After that, we could see 15 or 20, and then we're going to have some real throwing down going down.
Yeah, this is probably the class that you're going to see the most future. I mean, if you have the bikes are just so new, they're only a year or two old, and it takes people time. I know Benny Carlson's bike. You talked about that with the Suburban Harley Davidson crew. They were one of the ones they were having issues with trying to get the thing tuned because they'd started removing some parts and didn't realize it was so important to the whole makeup of the bike. Wheel sensors for ABS and traction, and wherever they disconnected some of those devices, they found out if they had it on rain mode or cruise mode or economy mode, not the sport mode, it ended up being to where that was where the engine was stuck in that mode, and then they were scrambling to try to program it.
We talked to Carson Brown about it, but I think people at home may still want to know, how do you go BRL racing? Well, we had a chance to find out from our instructor, Mookie.
Hi, I'm here with Mookie Wilkerson with the BRL Racing School, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the details. So first of all, every single racer that is now racing in the BRL class or series has to go through your school, correct?
Yes, they do have to have a license, a race license, and BRL has just joined AMA, so now it's actually sanctioned through the AMA, so that's a big step forward. But yes, everybody has to have a race license, and they provide it opportunity every single race weekend, and sometimes outside the weekends too.
That's amazing. So it's definitely going to keep the racetrack a little bit more safer. Obviously, racing is inherently dangerous, but this is going to give it a step above. Can you tell me really quick about the things that you discussed that really drive into the new racers?
Is mainly race etiquette. There's a lot about race etiquette because it's not only about safety, but it's safety for everybody else around you. So we teach mainly about the flags and what they mean, because it's the way the grid marshals communicate with the racers on track live. And so they need to know what's happening when you see what flag, what color flag, and what it means. We also teach racing lines and how to hold your line, because it's very important to be predictable when you're racing. So, and on top of that, at the end, they even have a mock race. And today was actually quite exciting because it was probably about a couple hundred people watching, and it was unexpected, but it was quite a large grid, and the racers in the new racer school was quite hyped up about it. So I was quite proud to see people watching and how they actually performed.
That sounds amazing. So not only are you going to learn some great etiquette about racing, become a better racer, but you're also going to have a lot of fun. So maybe if you're not quite ready to take that next step to race, you can at least join the school at the next BRL race and have a lot of fun because you get a mock race.
I have fun myself, and I'm the teacher, so I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I drove all night just to get here, and it's been turned out to be an amazing day with the Utah cloud, the mountains all in the background, snow-capped mountains, but it's quite just warm enough. So it's been a beautiful day, beautiful racing. Qualifying went crazy. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're definitely happy that you came out and definitely bringing education to the next former riders. So go to baggerracingleague.com and check out the website and get registered for the next school.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing you.
Thanks, guys.
Our buddy Mookie, he was up here doing school yesterday. I'm surprised that you haven't bumped into him, Brock. He's a California boy, just like you.
Yeah, he drove all the way and came up here to beautiful Utah Motorsports campus here outside of Salt Lake, and it's just teaching the riders how to do it. And he obviously did a good job with last race winners, Carson Brown. He taught him well, so it's fantastic.
The next thing I think that we should really discuss when you talk about all this is these riders stay on tire warmers. And when they stay on tire warmers, they don't want to take them off until it's absolute go time. And when they do, the tires are, roughly what temperature they're at based on all that? Is it 100 or 150? I'm not exactly sure what the temperature is, but it gets them up to the point where they're traction ready, if you will.
Absolutely. These guys want to be able to go into that turn one and know they've got grip, and they don't want to have to wait till their tires come up to temperature. So as you see right now, we've got some of the bikes pulling out of the paddock area. It's such a beautiful facility here. You're working indoors. You've got your concrete floors, nice clean environment to work on your bikes. It's not like my world where I work. Everybody works in the dirt. Supercross not so bad like that, but this is a nice, fantastic facility, first-class facility here at the UMC.
Our buddy Daryl Bassani couldn't join us this weekend. The stunt show that his crew put on was truly remarkable. As always, he knows how to party up with. He calls them his wheelie children. He's not here, but man, we missed the guy. He's somebody that always has just so much fun when he shows up. He's a pioneer when it comes to racing, wouldn't you say? I mean, you knew about it when you were a kid.
Absolutely. The Bassani, kids that are riding around on SL70s and XR75s, and they all had to have a Bassani pipe on their bike. And guys I grew up with, that's exactly who they did. And then when the 125 Honda Elsinore was introduced in motocross, Darrell was he's one of the top pipe builders in Southern California, and then he went national, of course, and everybody knew who he was. And we had the pleasure of having dinner with him not too long ago when Supercross season started off in Southern California at Anaheim, and it was just my total pleasure to be able to spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours with him and Robbie from LA Arts and just talk about the old days.
Well, they're out there on the track right now getting their sighting lap in, and these guys will have a chance to look. They got the temperature up. Now, Benny Carlson's bike was brand new, and we talked about it. They took off the ABS, and when they did, it was stuck in economy mode. Then it has a braking period. Joe Hupp built the bike so brand new, he never even rode it. So as they go through practice, it's getting faster because it's literally braking in. His last lap of this race may be the fastest we see from him.
I don't know that he's ever going to have the horsepower it's capable of, but Benny's a little frustrated, but he's a racer, and he's like, he didn't come all the way out here to sit in the pits, so he's going to be out there racing that bike. Maybe not at its peak performance, but he's going to give it a run.
I'll tell you what, they've got some great riders that are riding. We had a couple riders go down, so it's going to be our smallest field of the day, but it could be the most intense. Let's meet the riders.
I'm Mike Subish. I'm number 25. I'll be racing in the FS Cup, riding for Native Rider Racing.
Hey, my name's Corey Cowan. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, riding 2022 Pan America for Robbie Lane and the guys at Alloy Art in the FS Cup and ATU classes.
I'm Benny Carlson, riding number 45 in the Unlimited class and the FS Cup, riding for Team Suburban Motors Harley Davidson, Sly Fox Custom Dynamics Racing.
Corey West, number 13, riding in the Bagger GP and FS Cup for Team Saddleman Lloyd's Garage.
Hi, I'm Dustin Slade, number 14, riding the FS Cup for JRS Motorworks.
Great group of riders. Now, tough thing as we mentioned, a couple of them, they went down late in qualifying. So, again, it's our smallest field. It's our newest class. But some of the best riders that we have on site are in this class. I think we're going to see an absolute barn burner before this one is done. We have locals. We have guys that have quite a bit of time on the bikes. And then we have a couple. Now they kick them off the line. And these riders will head back. There's my buddy Lucky down there. Lucky points to him. Make sure everything's clear.
See Benny Carlson there on the inside, position number 3. Again, not having the full performance. And then Corey West has pole position. He takes off the start right now. Great drone footage here. And let's see, I'm sure Corey West seems like he's holding it on into the first corner. Yep.
Corey's holding it on right now. His fiance is all the way over in Ireland, I believe, racing today, so I'm sure they'll be on the phones. Corey had a tough break leaving the facility yesterday. His brand new truck was demolished by an errant driver out there. There's folks in cars there. You got to keep your eye out for him.
Yeah, that was terrible. Somebody ran the stop sign, didn't stop, and ran right into the side of it, and it was quite a collision. Basically totaled both vehicles. That was, but luckily Corey was fine. He's no injuries. The airbags didn't even go off, but boy, it did a lot of damage. And his Friday the 13th wasn't something that he wants to put down in the books as his best day of his life, that's for certain.
Well, here's the top 3. It's Corey West, number 13. That's the number 11 on the Alloy Art bike. That's Corey Cowan. And right behind him is Benny Carlson. We'll see how much faster Benny's bike gets as it runs through the break-in cycle, Dan.
Yeah, it's something to hear. That bike it'll just get better as they go, and we'll see what they do in Milwaukee for sure.
Oh yeah, they definitely know that by the time they get home, they'll have track days on the bikes. I mean, they brought it here. Joe was finishing it up yesterday, and that's just how these racers roll. When they see something they could get into, they go in both feet first.
They absolutely just said he brought that bike as brand new motorcycle, no track time, no anything, and so he just wanted to give it a run here, kind of a shakedown. Unfortunately, again, it didn't have the performance that it normally has and what's capable of a bike. And Benny's just riding to get some extra track time on there because he's probably literally, when you say 30 horsepower down, he's probably 25 or 30 horsepower down.
Look at this battle that's shaping up front. We've got the hair flowing out the back of the helmet of the number 11 machine. That is Corey Cowan on the Alloy Art machine, and he is battling with Corey West. Corey West, Saddleman, and Lloyd's Indian. Great guy. Met him earlier today. Said he's going to build some more FTRs, maybe a Chief. He builds a great Challenger. We'll see in action later. But this little two-man battle up front, and you rarely say this, they've broken away from Benny Carlson right now.
Yeah, again, it's not, I mean, if that bike was running, the number 45 Benny Carlson, if the bike was running how it should, I'm sure he'd be right there. We'd be watching a great race, and I can't wait till this Cup, this FS Cup, more bikes get out on the track. It's going to be some of the most fantastic racing because these things make the power and they get with it.
These machines right here are both cutting very, very, very quick laps right now. They're just ready to break out of the 140s. I think we'll see them in the 139s, especially if they get close enough to end. They can start drafting each other down these straights.
Yeah, it's fun to watch these two battle it out here.
The naked bikes, no fairings. They got to tuck in real tight. There's no question that these two guys are very accomplished riders, riding a much higher level at different professional ranks in AMA racing and road racing. So this is as high the skill level as you're going to get in very fast bikes.
Harley Davidson versus Indian right now, and this is really the most technologically advanced bike these two companies make right now. It's absolutely amazing to see just how close they've got it.
Yeah, they came ripping by us right here, backing it in. Look at that pass for the inside.
Oh,
Yep. Corey West went a little bit wide coming in that corner. Maybe, you never know. This could be a cat and mouse game right here. Corey's a savvy veteran rider, and he might just be tucking it behind to see where his lines were not as good as they could be, and we'll see what happens.
We haven't really had this battle shape up. We did last year, and it was the FTR, two of them, Corey and Patricia, that edged out the Pan American. But here we are, first race of 2022, and it's Pan American with just about a bike length advantage right now. It might not be the biggest class, but right now it's the most intense.
Yeah, we got the two Corys going out there, Corey with a C and Corey with a K, and look at that, takes it in. The Corey with a C takes it in deeper, so West goes in much deeper. He's kind of playing around outside, figured out, man, I don't know if I can make this work or not. I better tuck back in behind Corey Cowan.
Well, here goes that inside, the number 11 and the number 13. And Corey West sees, he's raced everything, and I've got to think that our man Corey Cowan, he's got some fangs in him as well, because you don't see too many people come up the inside of Corey West, Dan, and make that pass for the lead.
Yeah, it's something to see, and it's really awesome with these bikes that are so accessible to compared to regular street bikes.
Well, they've taken them, they changed 17-inch wheels, they've got upside-down forks and things on them, and they kind of just took all the unnecessary things off. Forever, the whole custom market was you could add what you want to personalize. Now it's take things off. Boy, look at this track. These things couldn't be better matched for power. I bet they're almost both putting out about the exact same horsepower.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see the Indian racing against the Harley. This is what we've always wanted to see, and I hope this FS Cup is something you can buy the bike, strip it down, and be out here racing in no time, as if we've seen already happen this weekend.
One of the big things, Paul Langley, who helped develop the XR series back in the day, he likes the parity of these two bikes, and I gotta think he hit it right on the head as soon as he looked at what could happen.
Well, this is what you really had in mind when you really set up this class, is to set up these kinds of good, strong racing battles.
I wanted something for the dealerships. A lot of them have some FTRs. They have. Look at this. This is side-by-side battling Harley versus Indian.
Holy!
Oh, that'll get you a little wiggle, huh? Or if he throws a seat cover on his bike.
I don't know. Cowan there got, he broke loose a little bit there, did a little death wobble, but hey, the gyroscopic motion kept him going forward, right, of those wheels.
Yeah, pulled back out of it.
Yeah.
Here's the big thing about it. Little mistakes like that at the speeds they're going, for most people, that'd make them chop the throttle and just pull over. These guys just shake it off, grab another gear, and go.
Most people, for certain. It made me want to give it up there and have to go. That's a head shaker right there, but it's fun to watch to see if we can they can get back up close, bike length or two apart, so we can see some close battling there. I hope Corey Cowan. I hope it didn't rattle it.
Left.
Right? Yeah.
I think he's got something left in the tank, but Corey West right now has that Saddleman Lloyd's machine rolling as they come through almost simultaneously, and it's we had 6 riders signed up, we had a couple go down, and we had 4 take the start, but these two are in a class of their own right now.
Absolutely. You can still see Benny Carlson back there. Just he's a racer and an accomplished racer and a 2-time champion of the BRL, and he's just dying under that helmet. I can promise you that. He's gonna, as soon as they go home, they're gonna have that computer apart on that thing. They're gonna have the wheel sensors back on. They're gonna figure out how to get that thing back into full sport mode.
Full power on it again.
Yep.
And here's the thing about the Harley. I know the FTR, there's some aftermarket upgrades for them. Not millions, but enough to get a little juice. You know that the cam companies, the fuel injection, the throttle bodies, they're all coming for the Harley. They're not going to be, and this is just going to become an even more intense class. So if you're looking for something to do, I know you like the Icon Lightweight Twins because of the price. I think this is the next most affordable class by far.
I think so too, because you've got this bike, you can take it off the showroom and you can do a few things. And it reminds me of the, I call it the old days, back when dual sport motorcycles were kind of our first entry to dirt bike riding. We took dual sport motorcycles in the late 60s, early 70s, took the lights off, changed the fenders, put knobby tires on them, and the next thing you know, you had kind of a decent off-road bike. They were street legal when you started, but you stripped them down and they were good. This is a little bit like stripping down a bike like that.
We're on the white flag lap right now. Next time around, checkers will fly. You see some of the takes a white flag, Corey West, so he's got about 1:37 seconds to go, I'd say, about right now.
Yeah, it unfortunately looks like Corey Cowan, for some reason, we're not quite sure why, his last lap was a 1:41.1, and Corey West did a 1:38.5, which was his best lap of the race. And Corey Cowan, early on, they were running the 1:39 flat, high 1:38. So it's some reason Corey Cowan has slowed down a couple of seconds. It's been 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds. So that's how he ended up losing contact. We unfortunately lost our close battle, but I'm sure there's something there, and Corey Cowan will figure out what it was.
There was definitely a couple laps there where it made it all worth it, but Corey West, a fantastic job, I'm sure. David Eckert and the crew down there, Lloyd's from Lloyd's Garage, are going to be stoked. They'll be able to pick up a belt. This won't be their first win on that bike, though. They've been running up front pretty much since the inception of SS Cup, so this will be yet another of the opportunities for them to really celebrate the FTR, and they've broken away right now.
Yeah, and you saw also there on the track, it's pretty flat here at the Utah Motorsports campus, but there is a little bit of a hill in elevation. We can see the bikes coming down off what is the downslope there. The checker flags are waving right now. We're going to see a little. Yep.
He's come on out of it. He's going to be coming down. Robert's about to get ready. He'll have the crowd on its feet as he gets those checker flags waving. Corey makes that left corner. Gets a little wheelie.
There you go, buddy.
And Corey West, he got the fist pump going right there.
Yep.
He comes across the line.
Acknowledging the hard work of our flagger, and one of the most exciting flaggers I've seen in the sport. It's nice to see.
He puts on a show.
Yeah.
Corey Cowan out there in the number 2 spot. He already off the track. He's just enjoying this moment. And I don't care what you're doing. It's great to win. There's the little victory wheelie there, wheel stand.
Yeah, as long as the gyro doesn't kick in and start backing off the wheelie sensor on those things. There's so many the technology in these bikes, literally, they have gyros in them. They have traction control. They have so many things that they're going to have to disconnect for racing.
I bet they figured out a way to turn a lot of that stuff off.
They're certainly figuring out how quickly they are, and it's going to be fun to see this, because this is a bike you can buy, fix it up for racing pretty easily, and you've got a fairly reliable package. You're not always having
competitive.
It is incredible.
There's the little bit long. The gyroscopic must be working at that point right there as he heads it back. Got a nice big old crowd here today as they hanging out over the banners, checking it out. They were here yesterday for qualifying and practice. They got here early this morning. We've seen the Bassani stunt show, and now we've seen some good races out on the track. The NAM's Big Twin will be the next class, and that's usually one of our biggest classes, and then we'll wrap it up with the Custom Dynamics Bagger Jeep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because you got Corey Cowan, you got Corey Cowan out there and Corey West. And Corey West, you can see that racing's racing, and he just won. And you can tell in that inside he's just feeling it, doing wheelies, having some fun, showing the playful side of there, and he's proud of that win no matter.
What we got coming up next? Cobra Exhaust, our buddy Cameron Broussard, the ATU class. This is the American Twins Unlimited. You got a bagger, you got a sporty, you got a Dyna, you got an FXR, it doesn't matter what you got, we have it. While these riders are wrapping it up and getting ready to head down to the podium, let's take another break. And when we come back, we'll be down on the podium. And we'll hear from Corey, from Benny, of course, from Corey Cowan. We'll be back in just a moment after these breaks. We're back live in the Shineworks studios, and we're ready to head down to the podium, find out how this one played out. What do you have for us, Lori?
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Paul Langley with Drag Specialties to present some amazing awards for the Drag Specialties FS Cup. So let's go here with our third place winner. We have Benny Carlson. Okay, you've pretty much swept the podium last year. How does it feel to add one more award to your amazing trophy collection?
Yeah, it feels great. You know, we got a good bike again, and you know, if we can get that thing out of rain mode, that'll help a little bit. So we'll get that fixed, and we'll be back up front again with the Suburban Motors Harley Davidson Pan Am Harley Davidson.
Amazing. Okay, now let's go to our second place winner, Corey Cowan. Okay, this is your hometown track. How does it feel to bring back the second place winner home?
Second place feels good. The other Corey here in first, it would have been a little bit nicer, but I was happy to get off the couch, and the guys at Alloy Art provided me a great bike to ride this weekend, and I couldn't be more pleased. So I appreciate all the friends coming out, all the supporters, Pirelli Tires for giving me the best that they can and what I feel is the best in the business. So appreciate everybody. Thank you.
And this was your first time riding that bike, correct?
Yeah, I saw it first thing yesterday morning, and it was pretty good from the get-go. Made a couple of adjustments and just continued to ride it. So it's all this American-made stuff is pretty foreign to me, really foreign. But it's been really enjoyable, and it's a super pleasurable experience. So,
well, congratulations on your second place win. Okay, now we got. Okay, so now we have Corey West. Corey, I mean, what can I say? Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Big shout out to the Saddlemen guys. They worked their butt off on these bikes over the weekend, and you know, Bridgestone for stepping up. It's awesome to get back on these super sticky tires. Lloyd's Garage, Mission Foods, Motul, Galfer Brakes. I mean, everybody that stepped up this year on our Hooligan FS Cup bikes. It's been really awesome. Had a little adversity yesterday. Actually got in a car accident leaving the track yesterday, so it was nice to come home and then get a good win today. But shout out to these guys on bikes I've never seen before. These guys were pushing me hard, so I think this class has a lot of room to grow, and just happy to bring home the win.
We're so happy that you're doing well and nothing happened to you and you're out here to kick some butt. So let's give it up to our first place and your amazing trophy right here. Let's grab your belt.
Hey, thank you, sir. P1. 5 riders, let's get.
Well, a lot of action now down on the podium. Congratulations to the Corey and Benny show down there. Hoisting up the belt, holding it high above their head, and we're live in the Shineworks studio here. Brock Glover, myself, Cameron Boussard from Cobra, because we have the Cobra ATU class, the American Twins Unlimited. I don't care what you have. If it's a Harley and Indian, you can even bring a victory, things like that. We're going to put you in this crazy class and let you shred it up.
I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing because one of the things we loved about this class is anybody could get involved. It's a very inclusive way for anybody to blow the dust off a bike in the garage, get it out here, get some time on the track, and really get involved with the program, which I think is an awesome idea.
Now, you actually have thrown on the leathers. You've got the knees on the ground. You have road racing experience.
A little bit, yeah. I used to do a lot of the ARMA racing. In fact, I raced at this track a whole bunch of times. So I know what some of these guys are going through when they're struggling. You know, turn one is a tough challenge for a lot of these guys. And I can relate to that. So there's a lot that I'm watching these guys. The only thing I find amazing is they're able to, you know, go into turn one with these 500 and 600 pound motorcycles and flick them in. That to me is a pretty remarkable and brave thing to do.
You know, you come from the exhaust world, and there was a time when, you know, all the chrome exhausts were the big rage, and you know, it was about keeping everything shiny and looking really good. Now that you know the 2-in-1 market, the whole bit that comes with it, this is kind of fun because every time you guys go into the dyno, you're looking to get a couple more of this, a little bit more torque, and that's got to be a good time.
Well, it really is. Even with the baggers for years and years, even if it was a big wheel bagger, the first thing everybody talked about was power. How do we get more power? But they never worked on the rest of the motorcycle. So they didn't do the suspension or the brakes, but they'd build these big horsepower machines that made a lot of noise. But now that everybody's chasing performance, that makes it a lot more fun because we can now build the exhaust to get the most performance, and they can put it to use.
When you talk about building the exhaust, you guys build them right in-house, truly American-made. You guys are what? Yorba Linda, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Everything we do in-house, we do some things that no one else does. We have our own, not just our own R&D, but we build our own tooling, which is a lost art in America anymore. You don't find companies that do that kind of stuff. So we've got the capabilities to create anything we want in any shape, which makes it wonderful from an R&D perspective.
Get off of the dead track. The next thing I got to ask you about is, over the years when we've seen, the bikes grow, it's whether it's an Evo or a twin cam or things like that. Then when the MA come back out, all of a sudden the performance guys started putting the cams back in, doing the heads again, bumping up the compression, making sure that the fuel injection, the tuning. And you guys have a tuning product as well, I believe.
No, we don't.
Oh, you stopped with that?
Yeah,
okay.
we stopped with that.
All right, no worries. My bad.
That's all right.
What else is new? What's 2022 look like for the Cobra USA crew? Where do you guys? What events are you going to see at?
You're going to see us at all three of these events for sure. And what our goal is now is to begin to create products for this market, because we've always done, stuff for the 80% guy, the guy who wanted slip-on mufflers, a head pipe, air intake, and maybe mild cams. But now the demand for the performance is so much greater, so that allows us to kind of explore some new areas for us, because we were never the real hardcore performance company. But this opens the door for us to get involved in that arena.
You talk about being involved in it and coming out to these events, and the fans are walking around and they're kind of checking things out. There's been less than 10 bagger races ever in the whole wide world. It's like we're in our 10th year or anything. It's so new. And these people are truly hungry to find out, well, what do I have to do to get my bike ready to go? Obviously, the brakes and suspension, but you can build all the motor you want, but if you don't get rid of the exhaust the right way, it's kind of for naught.
It really is. And the great thing about an event like this is so many of the people who are here have Harleys that they ride on the street. So it's not just a race-oriented crowd. People want to know, what can I put on my bagger to get from here to there? So they're interested in all the other products that not just we make, but a lot of the other manufacturers. So it's not just a race-only sort of crowd out here.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, how these bikes out here we see at Bagger Racing League, they absolutely are some motorcycles people could truly relate to. This is something that they or their neighbors, somebody rides something exactly like that. It's not like MotoGP obviously is like Formula One in our racing, road racing, but these are kind of like the every person's bike that we can all relate to, and now they're racing around the track.
I tell you what, gentlemen, in the Cobra ATU class, there is literally something for everybody. Let's find out who these everybody's are that are piling these machines around. Let's go to our rider intros.
I'm Benny Carlson, riding number 45 in the Unlimited class and the FS Cup, riding for Team Suburban Motors Harley Davidson, Sly Fox Custom Dynamics Racing.
Hi, I'm Rusty Gerard, number 47. I'll be racing in Pro Stock and the Unlimited class for Team Gorilla Cables.
Hi, my name is Robert Parker, number 81, and I'm racing with Motorcycle Supply in the Big Twin and ATU class.
Hi, I'm Cody Melton. I'm number 11. I'm racing in the lightweight twins, and I'm racing for my team Moosecraft, Jiffy Tune, and Lindahl Brakes.
Woo-wee! This is Jimmy Bobby running the number 3 deal for My Garage Racing. You better check us out, because I guarantee you one thing, my fat ass is going to be last.
Hi, my name is Gregory Stinnett. I'm riding lightweight twins and Unlimited class on the number 816 for Lindahl Brakes, Law Tigers, Lorette Lip Performance Machine, and Notorious Speed Shop.
My name is Doug Loud. I'm number 993. I'll be riding in the Big Twins and ATU Unlimited. Sponsors are Motorious Speed Shop, Law Tigers, and Lindahl Brakes.
Dylan Wall, number 519. I'm racing ATU, and I'll be riding the Ride Smart Harley Davidson Livewire.
I'm Brendan Murphy. I'm from San Francisco, California, Burlingame. Today I'm racing Big Twin Heavyweight. I'm here with Motorious Speed Shop, representing them, Lindahl Brakes, and West Coast T-Bars. Let's roll.
Well, we're back live in the Shineworks studio. Lucky down there on the line, getting everybody gridded up. We mentioned before, 3 across here. They'll get them lined up. Now, the ATU, we came about this. So many of the riders said, I want that second class. I'm hungering to get back out there. So we said, hey, the guys at Cobra, what do you want? He goes, open the floodgates. American Twins. Somebody shows up with an Excelsior Henderson. We got class for you.
So if it's AT, it stands for American Twin, and U is obviously unlimited, so ATU class. There you go.
Yeah, when you see this collection of bikes, it is everything. Big Twins, we have Road Glides, we have Pan Americans, we have Sportsters. This is just something, they want that extra time, but I think it's really going to set the tone moving forward for, hey, that second, and I think we're going to see pretty soon everyone's going to we'll have a 65 rider start here pretty soon.
That'll be awesome because guys really want track time.
Yeah.
They haven't had an opportunity to get these bikes anywhere and have an opportunity to spend a day on a track like this.
You know, we talk about the, the motocross world. They could practice. You have a couple acres, you could have a track. Flat tracks, that's a little tougher, but not impossible. Road race tracks, that is a whole nother animal. Somebody here missed their grid spots, so we'll give them a second to check around and get dialed in. Race director Alex Mox checking in, making sure that the grid is set up. These riders are finding their grid spot. I think he missed his sighting lap, so I'm going to guess he's going to have to go to the back of the row. Lucky they're keeping everybody on point.
They talked about that. If you show up after the 5 card goes up, you show up, but when that 3 car is up, you cannot take your sighting lap.
So Benny Carlson's on a Dyna. Now this bike is not stuck in rain mode.
No.
And there's a wheelie. And like I said, the big baggers, everything heading into turn 1, and it is the number 45 of Benny Carlson. Now, these are Big Twins and Sportsters and baggers and just about everything all rolled into one package. But Benny right now on a bike he's familiar with. He's won on this, so I think we're going to see him put in some hot laps right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that rider came from about 3rd to 2nd there. He's going to go try to chase down Benny, but I can tell you one thing. Benny has had one of these racers' nightmare weekends, and I think this is his redemption. If he can just have a nice race here and get it on home, he'll be happy because he's had some issues. Obviously, we talked about that earlier in the FS Cup, where his bike was stuck in the economy mode or the commuter mode to go down and pick up a gallon of milk. That's not what the racer wants. And then he's had some issues with his Beggar GP bike too. So I think this is his redemption race.
Bunch of Big Twins out front. Looks like we have one of the live wires in there too. Like I said, if it's a Harley Davidson or an Indian, we're going to find a class for you. Nope, that is an FTR. So now we have the FTRs against some of the Big Twins. And again, we look out front, and Benny's starting to break away from this pack right now. He has somebody hot pursuit on behind him, and that's the riders that are up front. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So 2 Big Twins and one of the FS Cup bikes. Here they come trying to work up the inside. It looks like we've got a pass taking place. Get to the riders lineup as they come through and circulate on lap number 1. They'll trip all the transponders and get everybody logged into their position.
So a few of these riders, they get to do back-to-back races.
A couple of them have. Now, I believe that a couple of them are going to have to jump right back off and get right back on different baggers. The most I've seen done in a row is 4 races in a row. That was Carlson last year at Sonoma. And Benny Carlson may have lost a position, and he did.
Yeah, we got
Corey Cowan
talking about back-to-back race, just sitting on number 2 spot on the podium. And he was saying this is his local track, so Corey was saying that he didn't really particularly like being in that number 2 spot behind Corey West, and he wanted to be not only the lead Corey, but he just wanted to be the lead bike on top. So he's showing Benny the hot line around here.
Oh, Robbie Lane's got to be ecstatic. I know that he and the crew, they literally burned the midnight oil till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, getting that bike ready. The Pan Americans were such a new kind of experience to get into. They were buying the bikes, taking them from dealerships. I know Robbie went down to Quade's, bought the bike, came right back home and ripped it apart. So you wonder where all the Pan Americans are. I think they're showing up at racetracks. Yeah, Benny's on a little different pace this time. Now his bike is not liquid cooled. Benny's on an air cooled Dyna, and the liquid cooled Harley Davidson out front.
Pan American, basically the chassis and the engine set up from a Pan American.
Yep, doing a great job. So the top 2 are in a bit of a of a scrap right now.
What do you think the horsepower difference is between those two bikes?
You know, it's hard to say. You know that the guys at Suburban can build some big horsepower, especially out of the air-cooled Harley motors. They've been a dealership since the 70s, so they're very familiar with how to get big power out of these. But technology, it's hard to beat. You know what happened with liquid cooling and things like that came in. It just kind of changed the game a little bit.
Changed a lot of it, and I'm not sure if Corey's not on the same exact motorcycle we just raced.
They all look the same. All of Corey. Oh no, the Harley Davidson Pan America. Absolutely, he just got off the track, pulled back on, and he was.
I wonder if he threw some new tires on that thing.
May have. I mean, if they did a pit crew down there, they were going fast. So again, the Cobra American Twins Unlimited. We're live in the Shineworks studio, and got Cameron Boussard, Brock Glover, the Hall of Famer, with us. I'm Rob Bitus, and we're bringing you the BRO action, and we're starting to get closer and closer. He's like a stalker. There's the Cofords now. Salt Lake City's got to be awful proud of having a whole family of racers that come here. We met the dad downstairs. He goes, we're coming to Milwaukee. We're coming to Daytona. They're not missing. They're totally hooked.
Oh, that's awesome right here. So here we go. The race is tightening up. We got Corey Cowan out there and Benny Carlson. If Corey had kept those mirrors on that Pan American, he'd be seeing a number 45 on the Benny Carlson right in his mirrors.
Yeah, I think he's doing some work right now. The last race didn't give him that close contact where he could see, where he's at. This one's a little bit different. We saw the peek over the shoulder. And maybe you saw our friend Jim during introductions. This was the guy, and boom, boom.
Yep.
Jim from My Garage Ventura out there putting in work. He's a lap down right now.
They just took him going into the wind-up corner, which is such a fun corner.
How about our buddy Benny makes the move. Now, we already know that Corey right now is going to sit back and kind of look at what's going on. Here comes the big liquid cool power.
Horsepower coming out of the final corner down front straightaway right there. That's a big horsepower difference between that right there.
Well, they're in La Pera turn number 1. La Pera, the seat manufacturer, Christine La Pera and her family, they jumped on board with La Pera turn 1 at the first one, and it has been one of the biggest racing actions ever. So Christine, thanks a lot. Again, in and out of La Pera number 1. Now, Alloy Art has some work to do. As Benny Carlson is he's relentless. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, he's definitely making up some time in some of the tighter corners, less straightaway lengths. But when he comes out of this final corner coming onto the starting line, Benny better figure out a way to get a gap, or he's not going to be able to hold off Corey there much longer.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to zap him on the straightaway, Cameron. You saw the power already from the liquid-cooled Harley Davidson, but they're continuing to push the envelope. Oh, he did. You know what? Benny is back on the pan. He's not riding his dyno.
Oh, you're right.
So he is on the liquid-cooled Harley. So very interesting what happened with that bike from the last race to right now. Seems like all of a sudden it's come alive. Might be out of break-in mode by now.
Yeah, it's still there. I don't think they have it in full power mode. We can see that coming off the final corner there, but it's running. Looks like it's running better than it was earlier.
I'd say he got a pass made. He moved back into the lead.
Yeah, he finished good, 15, 20 seconds behind the Corey show, the last race, and then now all of a sudden he's somehow figured out a way to make it run here. We'll see right here on the front straightaway. As you see, like Benny just gives him almost a wave by or something there, but no, it's hanging on. He's taking it deep.
I got to think right now he's going to have to plan his move, because if he makes it and Benny can I think he's just going to sit in that position. He may try to out-drag race him when they come down the final straight here. Not on the white flag or anything like that yet, so still plenty of racing to go. Rusty Gerard out there, Greg Stennett, Steve Chamberlain took his big bagger back out there because you can't get that guy enough track time. He just loves it. Craig Braymiller, Robert Parker.
He's one of the only guys that runs over to one of the tire companies and say, hey, what you got the most high mileage tire you have? That's the one I want. I just want to buy one set of tires all weekend. I want to run 4 races. And they didn't care. I'll give away performance. I want the mileage. But look at this right here. We've got, Corey Cowan is trying to go around the outside of Benny Carlson, but he's going to have to tuck back in underneath him. And we're going to see when they do come out of this finish line eventually, when they get on that front straightaway, we're going to see right here. how much power that Benny Carlson, how much he's still down, because it looked like he was down. A little elevation change coming out of the back. Cameron, you rode in those sections. I mean, did you notice the elevation change in that little section?
Absolutely. You feel it even climbing up the hill toward the attitudes. Okay. And then it's really downhill and on that back straight. It's kind of a dip in there, and then you head up for that final quarters.
Yep, and Corey Cowan just made a move underneath our leader, Benny Carlson, on the 45 bike, but see what happens. I mean, this could be a cat and mouse game. Corey might know that he's got a little underneath the belt. We're getting the white flag is just getting ready to come out, so it's going to be a battle on the last lap.
Here they come, big drag race. White flag is out. It's going to be the number 11 machine that holds the advantage.
Boy, they make that, the camera makes that straightaway look so short, that finish line straightaway. It's not nearly as short as the camera makes it look, but it's a shorter version. We're on the east loop of this Miller complex here. It's no risk to run a big, almost 4-mile track. We'll be out here forever, but camera definitely changes the angles.
The World Superbike guys ran the full length of the straightaway, and they were hitting about 195, 196 at the end of the day.
Incredible. Yep, we got Corey Cowan right now trying to gap Benny Carlson, so there's no question if when it comes down to the finish line, he doesn't want any sort of shenanigans. He doesn't want any sort of possibility of getting slipped by Benny Carlson, and he's pulling away to a comfortable lead.
Some solid rides being turned in by many of the riders. Ravi Patel, Subish, Braun, Steve Chamberlain, again, 6th place, another solid ride. Greg Stinnett still out there battling. Rusty Gerard putting in good work. Doug Loud, Robert Parker, and Craig Braymiller doing some outstanding technique on these bikes as they work them so that the bike itself is able to carry maximum speed without dragging body parts around the corner. Whether it's muffler, foot pegs, these guys are getting the knee out, got the pucks shined up on these things. We'll see if there's any last minute, because the checkered flag will be out the next time these two come down the straight. And speaking of that, here comes the checkered, and a fist pump and a belt picked up. Benny Carlson has the Pan American second. Another Pan American takes the win, so Pan American. This is the Cobra ATU. Live in the Shineworks studio. I don't know if it gets any better than this, Cameron.
That was awesome. All the way to the start to the finish.
Guess what you get to do now?
I get to go hand out some trophies.
And a championship belt. The
That's
winner
right.
gets the belt, so we'll make sure that Robbie Lane's going to be ecstatic when he has a chance. He'll be wearing that around all afternoon.
All right, guys. Well, thanks. It was a joy being up here with you guys. A real pleasure, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Can't wait. Cameron, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. An excellent spokesman, not only for Cobra USA, but for all of motorcycling. Raced here himself, so certainly a lot of great knowledge shared out there. If you guys are interested in checking out what Cobra has to offer, you go online and check them out, or stop into a Drag Specialties dealer, pull out the big book, and look at all their exhaust systems. A couple other riders make their way down the final time into that section. Steve Chamberlain, the 519, checks in behind him. That's Dylan Wall.
Was Chamberlain? I mean, Chamberlain finished third in our Pro Stock Bagger.
Yeah.
And so I think he ended up 5th here at the final. I don't have my timing scoring up, but I think he ended up 5th. But what bike did you think he rode? The same bike?
Yeah, no, he rode his Bagger.
No problem.
Yep, no, definitely. Like I said, we had them all out there. You see the riders streaking across the line. There's a little bit of everything out there for people. These machines make their way in, and more checkered flag. Here they come, baggers, Sportsters. We've got them all mixed in out here in the Cobra USA ATU Cup. We're live in the Shineworks studio bringing you the action, and went like this. It was like Benny. So I know that we were able to pick up the win with the number 11, and then we were able to work in a few other riders. But man, so much good actions, so much activity in the Cobra USA exhaust. Tell you what, we're going to have the riders finish up this sighting lap. They'll head down to the podium when we come back. We'll have the podium presentation, and Cameron Broussard will be handing out the hardware. We'll be back with more BRL from the Utah Motorsports campus, stop number 1 of the 2022 series, after this break. We're back live here in the Shineworks studio. Now we're going to go down to the podium and Kristen Banks.
Thanks, Rob. I'm down here with Cameron Broussard from Cobra, who is going to present the first ever Podium Awards for the Cobra ATU class here today. Thank you so much, Cameron. We're super excited to have you. And he's going to start out with third place, Ravi Patel. Now, Ravi, you told me earlier you felt super comfortable on your bike. You came in here with these new leathers. How could we miss them? Right. What does it mean to you to be on this podium, and what does it mean to the Quaid Harley racing team?
It means so much to me. There's so many people involved with all this. It's really a team effort, and to come out here and get a podium after a couple accidents I've had in the past couple months, it's a real blessing.
Well, are there any sponsors that you want to thank before we let you go?
Oh, there's so many. There's Gorilla Cables, there's Quaid Harley Davidson, Builtwell, Cortec Racing, Motul, Continental, and Saddleman. And there's, like I said, there's so many more people involved. It's we can go forever.
Well, congratulations, Ravi, on your third place finish. Now, in second place, we have Benny Carlson. All right, Benny, if we're being completely honest, I think I, along with everyone here, has lost count of how many BRL podiums you've been on. We might need to talk to Joe about building some kind of display in Suburban Motors HD. But can you just tell everyone, how did you make it a back-to-back podium? What does it take for someone like you to be on the podium back-to-back?
It's not really me. I think it's just the bikes are easy to ride. Joe puts me on always good equipment year after year, and you're talking about the podium deal at the store. But believe me, we already got one. We got the race bikes. They're always on display. So I'm so fortunate. We got a great bunch of sponsors on board: Bridgestone Tires, Suburban Motors, Harley Davidson, Drag Specialties, Sly Fox, Custom Dynamics. That's just to name a few. We're excited. We're out here in Utah, and hopefully we're putting on a good show for everybody.
Well, congratulations on a second place finish. Now, in first place, we have Corey Cowan. I said that wrong. I'm sorry. Corey Cowan, we're going to change it up. Now, the Alloy Arts team, y'all are down 3 people. Y'all faced some adversity this week. You said earlier that you've been on the couch. It seems like the couch is working for you. How does it feel to be the first ever Cobra ATU champion?
It feels pretty amazing. I appreciate Robbie and the guys at Alloy Art putting me on a great bike that they sourced from the Quaid Group. Once again, the Pirelli tires that I just came off the last race on were good. They were cold for probably the first half of the race, so it was hard to get up to pace, but I appreciate the clean racing with Benny. And I want to thank the dudes at Motul and Galfer as well, and the guys at Moto Station for always keeping me in check and my head on straight and keeping me in line. So.
Well, congratulations, guys, on a great first race. Thank you so much. Back up to you guys.
Hey, thank you very much, Kristen. We're back live in the Shineworks studio. You can see the emotion down there as you hoist up your belt there. Brock, I know you've won a lot of trophies in your life. Have you ever won a championship belt?
Enviously, I can say no. I wish I had, but that's a pretty cool trophy. There's no question the Bagger Racing.
You were actually there when we passed out the very first ones, though.
Yep.
And it was about 2 years ago.
It was, but this is pretty awesome. It's a unique trophy, and then good thinking on your part to do that.
Well, we have a new guest with us in the studio, and this guy actually has perfect attendance. He was at the first one, the second one, kicks off the year with us again. Now, he has one of the toughest jobs out there. These Harleys, the newer ones, come with about, is it in the thousands of sensors and microchips?
No, not really.
Quite, but
no.
a lot.
Definitely a lot.
And if you start fooling with them, then the bike just shuts off for no crazy reason. He's addressed all of that. The guys at NAMS go, look, wiring is what we do. Let us make your life simple. That's what you do, right?
That's what we try to do, yeah. It's our 23rd year of doing the same thing, and why change?
Each and every time you show up, though, you have the biggest class of riders, don't you? You knew what to do when you jumped on board, right?
That's why I gained this extra weight since I saw you last time. I figured I would try to keep up with the class.
As it increases. Can you fit one of those belts if you win the race? Can you?
It
fit
may
one of those
help
belts?
with my Dunlop.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got the extra baggage around the middle there.
Well, you down there and look at them, and they're all looking at. There's plenty of snaps. It'll fit from small to tall. It'll get you hooked on. See, you got to put it on.
Absolutely.
I'd wear that to dinner tonight if I was heading out.
That's a good idea.
So, the wiring. Mm-hmm. They talked about it earlier on, especially when you start disconnecting things. How do you develop all that? I know you have all the schematics, but where did your background? How do you become a wiring genius? It's probably the hardest thing. The guys that find it are like they're gods around the mechanical world.
It's not really that hard, and that I think I told you before that back in 2007 I wrote a book about it, and when people were buying the books, they would be emailing me or texting and saying, "Hey, you made it seem so simple," and it really is. Once you understand it, you just have to understand it. But like you said, with CAN bus, the 11 and up Softail, 12 and up Dyna, and all 14 and up went to CAN bus, and that's a real challenge because it's basically. It's digital communication, and everything goes through one central location, which is like a brain, and it tells the bike what to do.
You say the word CAN bus, and I've heard it, and I know that it's kind of the main. Would it be the brain, basically?
No, the CAN bus is the form of communication.
Form of communication.
Right.
Okay. So, and to get rid of that, when did they come out? 2000.
That's what there was two different versions. So there was a J1850, which was like an 05. So there was three components on a Harley that spoke to one another: a speedometer, a turn signal module, and the ECM or ignition module. After that, CAN bus started in 11, then went to 12 with Dynas, and then 14 and up all models.
And so is that what the situation is with the Pan American? Have you had any time to kind of tackle the Pan American?
Pan America, I haven't. I've actually was invited to ride one, and I wasn't able to make it. Mike Merritt, who works with Drag Specialties, he has one, and I was going to ride it at the ride we did back in the fall, or actually it was spring, and I haven't had the opportunity to do so. But I hear they're amazing motorcycles. So
well, I can tell you right now that Joe at the Suburban Harley Davidson, they would have liked to pick your brain earlier because with Benny Carlson, they were struggling with that bike. So I think that's something that it's
right up my alley.
I'll tell you what, earlier this afternoon, we said, let's find out a little bit more about the NAM's Big Twin class, and that's exactly what we did. Let's check out how this worked out.
Hey guys, I'm here with Benny Carlson, who won the Big Twins class on this bike last year in Sonoma. He won't be racing it this year, but he's going to walk us through this bike and what makes it a Big Twin. Benny, will you just tell us a little bit, starting out with the wheels, about the Big Twin bike?
Yeah, so we put a 6.5-inch rear wheel on this, and we naturally coat these with $100 bills to make them look cool. But a Big Twin, you're going to throw as many cc's as you can in it. So this is a 1340 or 117-inch motor, probably putting about 130 horsepower. It's got triple clamps. It's got longer shocks to give us a little bit more ride height. And then we just kind of cater it for my riding style as far as like the seat that I'm going to have and the tank and things like that. Put a straight bar on it to make it a little bit more road racer, and that's it. As much power as you can throw at them, get them as high as off the ground, and put some tires on them, and that's really what a Big Twin is.
Now, you're racing in the Bagger GP. That's a big old heavy bike. This is a little wider. Where would you say that this starts out before you start putting aftermarket parts on it as far as weight goes?
Yeah, this is going to be lighter than a Bagger. I don't know exactly the weight, but there's just, there's not a fairing and different things like that. So I would assume it's still probably going to be in that like 500-pound range, but we try and lighten them up as much as we can. We cut the wiring harnesses and kind of turn that historical street bike that everyone has out there and make it into a race bike.
Well, thank you so much, and we can't wait to see you out there tomorrow. Wish you were on this one too.
I know, it's going to be great.
Well, speaking of great, we're back in the Shineworks studio. Biggest class of the day as always. Let's find out who's in the NAM's Big Twin class.
Hey, I'm Anthony Salima. My race number is number 1. I'm racing in the Big Twin class, and I race on the Shred Moto racing team.
I'm Brendan Murphy. I'm from San Francisco, California, Burlingame. Today I'm racing Big Twin Heavyweight. I'm here with Motoria Speed Shop, representing them, Lindell Brakes, and West Coast T-Bars. Let's roll.
Carl Polini, number 398, riding for Runlet Racing Team, and the Big Twins class.
Carter Crafton, 970, Big Twin, the Speed Merchant.
I'm Charles Condit,
number 104, riding in the Big Twins, representing for Lindell Brakes.
What's up, guys? This is Clay Braun, representing the number 951 out of Riverside, California, riding for a Quaid Racing Team. Going to be running the Big Twins class this time.
Devin McLaughlin, 969, NAM's Big Twin.
My name's Doug Loud. I'm number 993. I'll be riding in the Big Twins and ATU Unlimited. Sponsors are Motorsports Speed Shop, Law Tigers, and Lindell Brakes.
Ian Bannon, 760, riding the Big Twin class, riding with Runlet Performance.
Josh Nichols, number 189 in the Big Twins class, here with the Quaid Racing Team.
Lenny Howard, my number is 551, and I'm in the Big Twin class.
Lucas Jabu, number 407, racing the Big Twins class, racing with the Warrior Built and Quaid Racing Team out of Southern California.
Michael Smith, 918, Big Twins, SMT Performance Wheels.
Ravi Patel here, racer 413 in the Big Twin class, riding for Quaid Harley-Davidson.
Hi, my name's Robert Parker, number 81, and I'm racing with Motorcycle Supply in the Big Twin and ATU class.
Zach Reniger, 666, Big Twin class, Team Quaid Racing.
Well, there they are. All the riders are down there on the line. So these riders have had an opportunity, Brock, to ride the track. We know the tire warmers are off and the grid has been cleared. Here comes the last few bikes in. Jeff, this is the, the butterflies are going. Some of these guys have been out there a couple times. Other ones, this is their first look at what's going on. So it's going to be very interesting. Great lineup of riders. Everything's going good. We are getting ready to go green, and this is going to be, to me, I think this is about as much fun as it gets. The adrenaline's going.
The more the better. The more the better.
Softails, Dynas, FXRs, they're all down there on the line. Oh, a big wheelie off the line. Yep. That's going to move you from a great gate or a grid pick back a couple spots, and it is the 407 that grabs the whole shot, and that is my friend Lucas Gibo. Oh, now he's on an FXR, a 91 FXR frame twin cam. That's kind of right up your alley, isn't it?
Sure is.
You've built a couple of those, haven't you, twin cam FXRs?
Just built one for the FXR Friends Throwdown, fuel injected twin cam in an 87 FXRT.
I can only imagine what Lucas is doing inside his helmet right now. He's probably screaming wide open out his whole shot at these guys. I'm going to check out. If he gets a belt, he may run all the way back to San Bernardino with that thing.
That would be a fun ride.
Oh, man, look at the riders, 2, 3 wide coming in the corners. Everybody looking for a little hole in the action so they can punch it through and move up. This is really a good one as too, Brock. These bikes, again, so many different frame tech generations, I guess, from Harley. The FXR, 3-point rubber mount. Dyna, 2, new Softail. What would you call that?
I don't even know. I think that's a 2 as well.
2-point, and then there's Indians that are eligible for this too. They make a bike called Chief. It's a like a Dyna basically. Don't have one in the field today, but anybody that has one, bring them out because they're highly competitive.
And they're fast, yes, for sure.
Big battle shaping up, and it looks like Lucas is coming under attack right now.
So I think we lost a couple riders in the class too, right, due to some mechanical issues and crashes. So we're down a few guys.
Oh yeah, we're only big. There are 3 corners of a big line back there. There's plenty out there. The NAM's Big Twin class. As we're live in the Shineworks studio, they were in and out of La Pera turn 1 with Lucas Kibo. Now look at us, they're almost going to be 3 wide here. I got a feeling before long, Brock.
Absolutely. They're coming in looking. One guy drifts wide, tucks underneath, coming in for the wrapping up the first lap, getting the green flag. Got Lucas Jabu leading the field in there, and he's got that red, white, blue number plate, and the numbers on the front fairing there, pretty easy to spot him.
Tony Salima picked up the number 1 plate in the NAM's Big Twin last year, and he's rocking the number 1. That's an important factor because when you let everybody know that you are the champ, either people rise up or they get out of your way. It's a gray area.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Tony just, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes before the first race took off today, and he's definitely telling me he's running the number 1 plate. You can see right there he's working on that second position right now, and he wants to get up to Lucas Jabu and figure out a way to get a battle, and he's on his way right there. He's in the second place.
These two both ride for the Quaid program, so they're very familiar with each other. I have a feeling that they've been on the track literally hundreds of times together. But how about Ravi Patel, 413? He's not done yet. I think he just might have found a little bit of extra motivation right there as these guys kind of put a move on him, and he was just on the podium. He doesn't want to not be up there. Lucas, don't look, because here comes, and there he goes, Tony Salima, the 1 to the front of the class.
Yeah, maybe you'd never see if Lucas can figure out a way to tuck in behind Tony and see where he's got some speed on him, where he's picking up time. This could be a fun thing to see who's going to be the kingpin at the Quaid Harley program back there.
Well, that's a 2018, so that's an M8 motor, so he's got some horsepower.
Oh yeah, he's definitely. Hey, they both have one cam. Well, actually, the twin cam in the FXR is a 2 cam, right? So.
Right.
Quite a bit different lines too, much tighter apex and holding it much longer coming out of the final corner there. Tucked underneath, look at side by side. They're really, these guys are getting after it. And you've got Robbie Patel keeping him honest too. He's like, yeah, I didn't mind that 3rd place in that ATU class, but I just want to get up and see if I can get up a step or 2.
These guys really have found some interesting battles. You've been being on the same team. It's you go back to the garage, you're almost pit next to the guy. These guys have a good time though. They've been in this type of battle for many years. So this is nothing new to them. I think they all know each other's tricks, all 3 of these guys. Jeff, does the new M8 Softails have the same challenges, I should say, that the baggers have, or are they a little bit less finicky, I should say?
They're pretty much the same thing. The only thing you obviously don't have is the audio and things of that nature, but they're all CAN bus. They all have a BCM. But one of the things that we didn't talk about, Rob, that I got to remind you about is the new harness for the M8 race bikes is almost done. So I would say within a week we're going to have a non-BCM CAN bus model. So
wow.
It's going to be pretty big.
That's going to solve so many problems for these guys. And you're saying it's going to be available in about a month?
I would say within a couple of weeks, yeah.
Wow. What do you got there, Golden? What are you seeing as this thing shapes up, tightens up, and gets to be... Oh, we got a rider down.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to let you know the little tumble on the track.
The 969 machine. And as we go through the lineups of who that is, don't have a rider number on that right now. Here's the best thing, though. He's fine. He's up. He's walking off. He looks to be okay. The bike doesn't look that banged up.
It's a twin cam Dyna.
Got one of the, looks like he lost a seat off that. Here we go. Let's get back to the action up front and look at this right now. This whole battle up front. Working. It's one of those things just as you drop, he finds a little line that gets out of the corner and he squirts out, gets the torque to the back wheel. This is twin cam versus M8 at its best right now.
Absolutely. And then, number 1 and 2 have been neck and neck the whole race, and it seems like there's a pretty good sized gap on between 3 and 4. But at one point they come close together, and then it breaks open again.
Lucas looks like he may have got a little something. So Tony Salima, rider number 1. Again, we've talked about him from the very first time. One of the pioneers of taking Harleys to the track. He used to go out there and race just about every sport bike in the world, and he said finally there's a whole bunch of Harleys starting to show up, so he's having a good time. Lucas is strong. We just know that these machines right now need so much, what do you say, a little bit of cool air around them, and today's almost perfect for it.
It's a perfect day, absolutely.
Mid-70s, these things are running at top performance right now.
When you have an air-cooled bike and you can ride in the weather like this, they run so nice.
Yeah, there's times that this time of the year up here we can hit 100-degree weather. We were having unseasonably cool weather, and I'm sure the air-cooled guys were really liking that, but it's been fantastic. It's not too warm, not too cold. Track surface is warm enough to get heat in the tires, but we're seeing a really good run right here by Salima. Tony, yeah, come around and get the 2, I think it's 2 laps to board. I think that's what he's saying, 2 laps to go.
2 to go here, and they have not given each other a quarter. It looks like it's very clean racing, but it's very aggressive, and Lucas says, hey, maybe it's go time right now.
Chabu pulls right up alongside of Tony Salima.
Shoulder to shoulder, bar to bar.
Can we run down after, well, the podium first? I want to run down in the pits afterwards and listen to these guys, because they're literally, their bikes were almost side by side. I was down in the garage with those guys.
And that number 1 bike too, that's like that crazy FXB crazy looking thing,
Oh yeah, if Tony's going to have some, it's going to be very unique, and it's very unique.
So he's got a pretty wild bike, and then that FXR,
it looks like a little bobtail. He's got a totally different style bike.
Back up to the drone gives you an idea of where the hot race lines are here from the outside to the inside.
Yeah, you gotta love our drone footage. Has just been fantastic.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Bagger Racing League does it right. That's for sure.
Well, we're working real hard. We know we've got some challenges out there. We're brand new and we're working on it. But I feel that moving forward, we have a great lineup of sponsors. We have some great events that we'll be attending. We hope you can come when we get to Milwaukee. It's during Harley's big 119th birthday, and we get to Daytona. It's during Biketoberfest. So.
Yeah, these next two Bagger Racing Loud are going to be amazing right here. But look at this right here. Boy, oh boy, it looked like for a second there that Tony Salima had pulled out a little bit of a comfortable lead, but that's not, Lucas Chabu is not, he's not putting up for that for 1 second.
That FXR is getting it. Gotta love those.
Warrior Project, I know.
Here it is. Oh my Lord, look at the side-by-side.
White lap, white flag lap. There's the white flag.
Look at this.
Almost a dead heat drag race. Lucas works the in. Tony shuts the door on him.
Jeez, Tony held it on, came down over the top. Boy, that was some different line choices. We talked about that first corner down there. Is so different. It's got a big bump on the inside. Some of the people are trying to go around that big bump, and it's the La Pera turn 1, and that's a challenging corner right there. It's the most challenging, no question, on this track.
Yeah, I remember that last year. That was a challenge for a lot of the riders as well.
There's a bump on the inside, and if you come in it too hot and you're not in the right spot, it throws these big machines around. And you're talking 500 plus pounds. It's not the easiest little thing to negotiate. So
here we go. Here we go.
Pass on the inside.
If he can hold it, can Salima get back underneath him? That's the thing you see so much in road racing. You can make that hot run, but if you can't get the thing slowed down, and he's able to shut the door on him, I think, right now. Lucas Gabu.
And you know I'm a little partial to an FXR, so if I'm going to sit here and root for the FXR, you have to deal with it. I'm sorry.
How can you not root for an FXR? It's like...
Well, you have a few as well.
Yeah,
there, buddy.
Come on, Adam. I love them.
They worked out of the attitude corners down to the Tuella corner, and then on just a couple corners away, we're going to be seeing the final corner and run up to the checkered flag here, see what happens.
So the checkers are in Robert's hands out there.
Yep, came out of the kink, and then
that FXR is getting some length.
Now he's the rider.
You're not biased, are you?
No, not at all.
At the very first race we had her, Lucas had a motor problem. They went out into the parking lot, pulled a motor out of a bike, put it in. He got fifth, put it back in that guy's bike, and he rode it home.
Here we go.
Can he hold him off? And folks, for the first time in BRL history, an FXR wins the NAM's Big Twin class.
Couldn't be any better.
Jeff, thank you so much for being such a massive part of this. You got more work to do, my man.
I do. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
First place gets the belt. The other two will get their prizes. They'll get their slowdown lap.
All right. Well,
we want to thank Jeff Zielinski. Again, been part of it since day one and biggest class out there and an FXR win.
He's excited to be. He gets to run down and be the presenter of the belt, and he's so excited because it's the FXR one, and he gets to hand out the belt. That couldn't have been any better there. That was some great racing on the last lap.
Tony's a battler. The Boyer-built FXR of Lucas. Ravi Patel doing a great job waving to the flaggers. I mean, this is, as we start to build towards the crescendo of the end of the day, this is basically what it's really led us up to. It's fantastic how these guys are best of friends off the bike, but on the track, clean as could be.
It was.
But it was competitive.
They went after it there, It's no question about it that Tony Salima, he was kind of a little bit of a last-ditch effort there in the next to last corner, and he ended up drifting a little bit wide, got off the fast line there, and that was all she wrote. So.
Fantastic ride by these gang out here.
Yeah, it was fun, and you can tell right there. We're talking about Ravi Patel, another third place podium. He got a third place in the ATU, the American Twins Unlimited, and then he comes back with another third place here. So, I'm on the podium each time. But there's a gentleman who's talking to Ravi. He just loves racing. I mean, you talk about racing, you can just see in his eyes. He lights up. He just loves the competition. You can see. Look at, they're just all pumped for each other. Good job, guys. Fist pumps.
These three have been friends for decades, and again, they are. My buddy Murphy here, helping everybody out. This guy's the Alcatraz swimmer. He's part of the big military thing. He's a great guy. You see him down in the paddock. The guy's just talking to you. He wants to have a good time, so he stopped here.
Just give
They went from a hug to a fight, maybe.
Fight, little punch, little testosterone. Hey, they got a little testosterone flow in there. There's no question about it.
Peace up to the camera, both of you guys. Outstanding job. I'm sure their friends and family that are watching back home are glad to see they're having a good time. We might have had a little bit of a tip over here. We're going to have to see how this one played out as we get the bikes going again. But, you know, it's funny. You know how tough you have to be to pick one of these up if it happens to go down.
These
this
guys
isn't a
bench press those things. What are you talking about, man? We don't need any help. We don't just stinking. Yeah, you can pick up the debris on the track, but I don't need any help here. I'll push this thing back.
Tell you what, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the podium and then our final race of the day. Folks, this is the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers presented by Custom Dynamics. We're live here in the Shineworks studio, and we'll be back after these messages. Well, the Custom Dynamics crew's up here, but we're going to go down to the podium. Hey, Lori, who you got down there?
Thanks, Rob. I'm down here with Jess Galinci. He is the president and CEO of NAMS Custom Products, and we're going to give away some awesome hardware for the largest class, NAMS Big Twin. So come on over. Let's introduce us to the third place winner, Ravi Patel. This is back-to-back podium finishes, sir. How are you feeling right now?
Very tired.
I can imagine. What did you do to prepare yourself to get back-to-back positions?
Honestly, just trying to get my head in the game, like mentally, was the biggest part of it. You know, I feel like the sport is very physical, but a lot of it is mental too. So it was a big part of it.
I think you did great. Congratulations, Jeff. And now we're here with the Godfather, Mr. Tony Salima. Congratulations, sir. I mean, you are considered the godfather of this sport. How does it feel to be back? How does it feel to race for the first class?
Oh, it's so awesome. Thank you, everybody, for putting it on. Stoked on this race, and congratulations to Lucas. And wow, what a good time. Great time out here.
Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Absolutely. I'd like to thank Shred Moto Co., Quaid Harley Davidson, Motorcycle Mortgage Lender, a whole bunch more, especially my wife and my kids for putting up with all this stuff. So appreciate everybody.
Let's give it up for the Godfather. And with our first place winner, you're also a veteran, and you had to deal with a lot of adversities to get up here today. What did you have to face, and how do you feel, Mr. Lucas Yabo?
Just a lot of bike problems. Trying to keep that 91 FXR together, it's a full-time job by itself. So she stuck together for that 6 laps we needed, and she pulled through for me.
She stuck together, and you got that first place finish. And we have an amazing belt for you. Let's give it up to Lucas. Back to you, Rob.
Thank you very much. And the excitement down there on the podium is contagious. Kyle, you're up here in the premier class we have, the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP. Again, pioneers in this. You guys jumped on board. Megan and Dave said, hold on, what's the best? I said this. They said, that's us. We want to be in that class. You've been with that company for many, many years, right?
Quite some time now, yeah. I just hit 7 years with them, and it's been great. It's a great company. They really have a strong business motto, and they've been great to work for. But like I said earlier, Rob, once you sat down with Dave and Megan and you kind of explained what you wanted to do, it was a no-brainer for us to be there with you.
You know, let's talk about your product line for instance. It's actually one of the safest things you could do to your motorcycle. They're in the light game. You guys turn darkness into sunshine, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2 things that we really want to focus on with our lighting is safety and simplicity both, right? So we want to make sure that you have safety going down the road. You can be seen, but we also want to make sure it's simplistic, too, for your installation. So it's something you can do at home. It's not going to take you much time.
Now, you guys travel, whether it's Sturgis, Daytona, Biketoberfest, any of the big things. I'm sure we'll see you guys up in Milwaukee. Your product is such a plug-and-play. You pull up. Usually you tell them what you want. You turn around, get your payment method out. Next thing you know, your bike's ready to go. It looks different. It comes down the road with a whole different presence about it. And then what you guys do with light is remarkable. So I think it's a great product, and obviously the folks at Drag Specialties have been big supporters of it because they see how people are so excited and drawn to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, it's a great product. It's usually a simple plug-and-play product 9 times out of 10. Great to work with at rallies. So like you said, we're out at the Sturgises, the Daytonas, all those big rallies, always offering free installation.
Well, speaking of what's going on, we want to know a little bit more about Bagger GP, especially the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP. So from up here in the Shineworks studio, let's find out a little bit more about these amazing bikes.
Hi, Brock Glover down in the pits here with Corey West. And Corey West, this is a Bagger GP bike also. We spoke to Ben Bostrom, and he rides the Harley brand for fueling. A little bit different configuration. But tell us a little bit about your Indian.
So the Indian is quite a bit different than the Harleys. First thing is this thing's water cooled. It's a 108 cubic inch. We're allowed to take them to 112 cubic inch, but we really haven't had the need to do that yet. The chassis is quite a bit different. It's a single shock in the rear, so as opposed to the twin shockers on the Harleys. But I'm really enjoying this bike. I rode the Harley last year, and we're already a bit quicker on this Indian, and I'm really finding my groove on this thing.
And it's proven to be quite a reliable race bike. I mean, look at the ergonomics on yours. You have a traditional, I was actually surprised, you have a cable clutch.
Yeah, and it's really easy to pull too. Like I've definitely grabbed a hold of some clutches on some other baggers, and it's like you almost need 2 hands to do it. So this one, it's a little bit easier to ride. It's got great ergonomics, and the power's really good. So I mean, we even have quick shifter on this thing compared to just shifting it regular on the old Harley last year. So.
And one thing I was got the fairing size seems very large, but that has to be an original OE size fairing. Is that right?
Yes, correct. And S&S helped us out with some of the fairing brackets and stuff, and everything's adjustable. But yeah, the thing's working really good, and just stoked that Saddleman's here to have me at these races.
Well, very good. You heard it from number 13, Corey West, and I can tell you right now from watching practice and qualifying, competitive package right here. So.
Well, Brock Glover had a chance to talk to Corey West, but because he's such an AMA Hall of Famer, we said, hey, what about talking to some of the other greats? Let's go back down to the paddock and find out who else the Golden Boy was able to hook up with down in Pit Road and find out about their race bike.
Brock Glover here in the pits with Ben Bostrom. They're riding in the 155 bike, and your Bagger GP bikes. Tell the people what makes a Bagger GP bike.
You know, these things start off as just a Bagger road bike. You go out there, you cruise around, put your groceries in there, and go on a trip. And somehow they morphed into a race bike, and from year one to year now, this thing really is, the GP element has come into effect. If you look at this thing, there's not a lot of stock parts on it, but there's a lot of parts you can buy. You can buy every piece on this bike, and that's what's pretty cool. And I'm lucky to be racing for fueling because they just keep pouring love into this thing.
Well, the lap times that you guys are doing out here is beyond impressive. They do look like kind of a bike you could take down to the store, but on the track they don't perform like that, do they?
No, they actually perform like a race bike, and that's what I try to tell people. People are like, how do you guys ride those things around there? Look, if you take the lap time and put it with a sport bike, there's not that much difference in them. And honestly, this thing weighs, I don't know, 600-700 pounds. You know, it's just a phenomenal machine. It's actually very fun and very friendly to ride. She doesn't want to throw you on the ground.
Well, that's nice to hear. I mean, coming from somebody with your credibility of what you've ridden in World Superbike all the way to AMA Superbike Championships, and you can just see from walking around looking at this bike, I mean, you've got a lot of features on this motorcycle here. And this, right, again, 127. I think the limit's 131 cubic inches for a normally aspirated air-cooled bike like this, but you're not quite to that level, but what the fueling team has done is remarkable.
They're always playing with it, and as a rider, you kind of watch the gauges because that's your horse, You're the jockey on there. You want to make sure nothing's going wrong, just for your own safety and everybody behind you. It's still a bagger.
Very good. Well, good luck tomorrow, and we'll watching you racing.
It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Well, we're back live in the Shineworks studio. Final race of the day, Bagger GP. We've got some of the best that have ever done it. Brock, you were talking to Bostrom, obviously. Corey West is amazingly good. We're going to see Benny Carlson back in action. We're going to see Robbie Lane down there on the number 99. He calls his bike the Mullet. He's given it harken back to the 80s. It's white with the Miami Vice blue and pink on it, and that thing They borrowed a motor. Now listen to this. They borrowed a motor. The motor has been to Sturgis 3 times. It's raced every race we've had except, and now, again, this one, because it was a spare, it was the last one. They're put it back in the bike, and he almost set fastest lap time. He goes, this thing is like just the most crazy. They don't even rebuild it. They just plug it in, and it goes out and starts shredding around. So there are some unique parts to these bikes, but there's a couple stalwarts, if you will, that have really become fabled in the BRL, and the motor that's in the number 99 mullet is just one of those fables.
It's that Alex Fox's backup motor or something. Yeah, their race motor, they had a lot of problems with the race motor. It didn't work out nearly what they wanted to. Pulled it out, put something that they know they can finish the race.
See all the activity we have going on here. There's something for everybody, whether it's go-karts, freestyle, motocross. There's a big group of fans in the back section checking out all the action here, and they're being entertained by all the creativity. The state of Utah, if they have anything with the motor, they're like, come out here and enjoy yourself with it.
Yeah, it's everything. You see the freestyle guys right there. It's probably a little bit of a shallow double back flip in tandem there, and it's just that's not an easy task to do. And you see the flags whipping around like that. That's not always the easiest thing to do. So great job for the freestyle show here, and just fantastic fun to watch.
Backside over there, they got a real bird's eye view. It doesn't matter. We have action trying to go on all over here. We had the Bassani Stunt Show, which I think you guys all had a chance to go down and check it out. When you're a couple deep on that machine and it's just going that well, that's kind of testament to what the talent level of Jason Pullum and his entire family are.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of talent that Jason Pullum has and what he can do with that machine is just absolutely incredible.
The other thing that's kind of unique to us, we have the BRL Speed Shop here, and we brought it out, the merchandise, I can't believe how many levers and pedals and foot pegs and on and on and on they've sold, because these guys, when they go down, boom, snap off apart. Now we have almost like a rolling dealership that pulls right in, and Frank was down there taking all kind of notes. You want this and this. Believe me, by the time we get to Milwaukee, that thing will be stocked and loaded to full capacity.
Yeah, definitely. Frank has been busy down there.
Now, I think we were talking earlier, and I don't know if we got it in or not, but where would be the next place that we'll see the Custom Dynamics show truck? When you guys show up, it's all hands on deck, and where are you guys going next?
Yeah, absolutely. So our next big rally that we'll be at, all hands on deck, is going to be the Sturgis Rally, or the Black Hills Harley-Davidson, so the rally at exit 55.
Oh, the exit at Rally 55. Yes, it is.
Yep. So we'll be set up there in the parking lot of Black Hills Harley-Davidson. We'll have the whole crew out there. We'll have everything for product, and we'll also have a full bay set up with techs for installations or just about anything you need.
Well, when you have the things that you need for the riders, that means that the dealerships are able to have the things they need too, and you guys are shipping parts daily out of the... Now, you're based on the East Coast, basically, right?
Yep. So we're out of just north of Raleigh, North Carolina, so a smaller town called Youngsville. But yeah, our warehouse crew is nonstop back there. I mean, they're continuously boxing it up, shipping it out, getting it going.
What do you see coming next from the guys at Custom Dynamics? Because I know and we've already been told, we had Mott's go up here early, so we have the greatest secret keeper in the world, a guy that can keep the secret about the coolest parts for a year. Is there anything you could kind of tip your cap to so that the fans that are watching and listening know about it?
I mean, we're always looking for new parts to add to our lineup. With a lot of the new Softails and a lot of the new bikes, the Pan America, all those kind of bikes, a lot of things are changing with the lighting and the electrical on those. So there's definitely some bikes that we're looking at to see what we can do with them.
I'm just curious from my side. I mean, give me some examples, like some specs. I'm one of these guys, detail guy. Give me some examples of what you guys do and improve the lighting on a standard motorcycle.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest, one of our bread and butter products, I guess you could say, is our turn signal inserts, right? So on almost all Harley Davidsons you get now, it comes with those incandescent bulbs, right? Those small incandescent bulbs that turn signals. And you really can't see them very well. So you're going down the road, you don't see them. You hit your turn signal, you don't see them. So we make a simple LED insert that you can put in. So now you have a bright white driving light that you can use. So when you're going down the road, that person's going to see you. You hit your turn signal, that white shuts off. Now you have an amber turn signal as well. So it's really a big safety feature to add.
That's fantastic. That's very innovative, and obviously saying you got to be seen and heard. I mean, the loud, people talk about the loud pipes save lives. you have to do both. You have to be able to be seen, and that's what all of us motorcyclists we want. So
Absolutely.
Good job.
You know, also, as we had an opportunity, we said, let's find out some of the other Moto Bagger GP riders, and we kind of stumbled across another one. So let's go down and find out what our friend Hawk's up to.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm Kristen Banks here with Hawk Mazada, racing in the Bagger GP class. Hawk, you raced professionally from 98 to 2010, took a little hiatus. Now you're back racing a Bagger. How in the world did we get you out here today?
So I got a call from Corey West, and he said, hey Hawk, what would you think about racing a Bagger? And he'd stopped by my house, and I'm building homes, teaching kids how to ride. I have nothing to do with that stuff anymore. And so I called Pistol Pete from Nowaski Performance and tested for him, and now I'm racing.
Now, how long have you been out on that bike testing and riding? How much time do you have on it?
We've got a few sessions in. So we tested one time, and we raced Daytona, we raced Atlanta, and now we're here. So not a whole lot of seat time.
Now, people watching the qualifying, you were up there with guys like Corey West, and they would look at you and say, no way that this guy's taking a hiatus. What have you been doing during this hiatus?
Teaching kids how to ride motorcycles. You know, like it really, I think when you step away from stuff, it's not a job or career for me anymore. I've got a child, and risk versus gain, priorities change. So now it's like coming into it, I think I'm a little bit wiser as a rider, so I can dissect things more, and I ride differently. It's more relaxed. It's fun versus just I gotta do it. So I think I'm having more fun with it. It's a rad series. The guys, it's so cool to be out with these guys again. It's like Ben Bostrom, Corey. We're like the old. I'm 40. We're old dudes now, so it's just fun.
Hey, age is just a number, but when you keep it fun, that's when you have fun, but also you're a competitive guy. So you're going to go out there, as much as you say it's just fun, you're going to go out there and race your butt off, and we can't wait to see you out there today.
Right on. Thanks very much.
Hawk Mazada down there rides for Nowaski Performance, and we're starting to see the baggers come out. Tony Tucker's coming out. Here comes Mr. Chamberlain. He's already been on the podium today and put in something.
So tell us what you said at the riders' meeting today for the bagger class. If you finished,
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make sure that the final race of the day had some stand-up groups. So we've got a nice group of bagger GPs. They're all coming off of the tire warmers right now, and that gives them the opportunity to have a sighting lap. We'll get them back here. We'll have the rider introductions. And this is going to be our final race of the day, the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP class. Now, one other thing. If these particular bikes continue to perform, we hear that Joe down at Suburban may be building a second bike. Is there any... You guys know some pretty fast people. You never know who can end up riding that thing as the year goes on. Never know, right?
You really do never know. I mean, it's always exciting to see what comes of it. But, I mean, Joe and his team down at Suburban, they do an incredible job with the bikes that they build, and it's always fun watching what they put together. We're so happy to be kind of partnered up with them in this, and we're excited to see what comes.
Well, speaking of excitement, the guys are heading out for their sighting lap. This is the final race of the day, and this is the final run of the 2022, the kickoff, if you will, the Bagger Racing League championship run. We'll be heading to Milwaukee a little bit later in the year, right around September. Then October, we're going to head to the Sunshine State and go down to Biketoberfest, mix it up at Daytona. Brock, you've been down to Daytona a couple times, I would say.
Once or 17, 20 times. Yeah, exactly. It's you guys have some great couple of races coming up. I mean, the Milwaukee event, right in the home of the motor company, right there in Milwaukee, where the Harleys are all built, and at the Milwaukee Mile, and then you're doing Biketoberfest in October down in Daytona. So that's a fantastic couple next venues for the Bagger Racing League.
We did a couple of studies. The track was built in 1903. Harley built their first bike in 19, so they're both 119 years old. Great group of riders. Let's meet the riders in the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP class.
Hey, I'm Hawk Mazada, number 121, riding in Bagger GP for Nowaski Extreme Performance.
My name is Michael Gilbert, riding the number 99 Alloy Art Harley Davidson in the Bagger GP class.
Corey West, number 13, riding in the Bagger GP and FS Cup for Team Saddlemen Lloyd's Garage.
I'm Benny Carlson, riding number 9 in the Bagger GP class, riding for Team Suburban Motors Harley Davidson Sly Fox Custom Dynamics Racing.
Shane Narbonne, number 1, racing in a Bagger GP class for Trash Racing.
Hello, Ben Bostrom from Las Vegas, Nevada, racing the Fueling 155 Bagger GP class.
Well, they're out on their sighting lap right now, crew, and you can see the catchers, if you will, are standing in their spots. We see these guys, and we talked about how tall the seats are on these machines, and these riders make their way back to the grid pick. Once they get back there, we'll have this thing ready to go. And Shane Narbonne, he was number 86 last year, but he tied in the championship with Corey West, but he was able to win the last round. That was the tiebreaker. And man, these two have history for decades racing together, from back in the pure super sport, super bike, super on, and now they find themselves reunited in the V-twin industry back on Harley Davidson baggers. Definitely the biggest displacement race bikes ever. Some of these with the 131s are up in the 2,000 cc range.
That's incredible. And let's talk about that number 1 bike there. A little different configuration of the motor.
Yeah, he decided to go a completely different route and strap a turbo on the side of the machines. And when we did this, we were positive that the entire Harley community loved to be interpretive. They like to have their own opinion right on display. We're like, sure, if you think that's the best way to go, let's do it. It's bit them once, and it's given them the big victory once. So now here we are to see how it's going to shape up. These guys are down there getting checked. The grid is clear. Guys, we could be going green in just a second. Our buddy Joe Hupp's down there giving it the once last check over on Benny Carlson's bike. We got a hand up. It looks like Corey West has his hand up. He's looking at the bike. The flaggers are checking. We have the grid marshals down there. Corey, he's on the Indian Challenger, Brock, so they're going to do a quick look to see exactly what maybe they could do to get this bike fired up.
Yep, you got the 2-minute board still up right now. And then Corey West, we featured him earlier. Yes, he showed us his Indian, what it takes to build that. Obviously, the 155 of Ben Bostrom is on the Harley configuration. And the number 1 bike, we talked about the turbo. So that's a 111-inch cubic inch limit on the turbo.
Oh, no. Tough break. Corey West, who's had an amazing afternoon. The bike's pushed off the side. Ah, that's heartbreaking. Those guys have worked so hard. He had a horrible day yesterday. Had his truck totaled. Green flag. Ben Bostrom pulls the whole shot. Insane Shane Narbonne in the number 2 spot. Back in the number 3 spot is Hawk Mazzata. Here comes Benny Carlson. Shoulder to shoulder and bar to bar.
On the number 9 Sly Fox bike, but we're going to see the different situation right here, where obviously we're talking normally aspirated Harley Davidson motor, cubic inch 131 limit, not quite there on the bike Bostrom's riding, but the number 1, that turbocharged engine, and boy, it looks like it makes some pretty serious power when it gets wound. That gets the spooled up on that turbo.
You've worked next to the Trask crew out in Sturgis. Those guys put on 50, 60 turbos at a rally. People are loving them. This thing has about 205 horsepower right now, the number 1. Ben Bostrom, well, that's road racing royalty up front, so I think he might have a little something for him. And it looks like Benny Carlson is starting to come under attack just a bit as well.
See what happens. Narbonne is actually riding the number 1 bike, but you can see how close they are right now as they head out of the corner right now, setting up. Ben Bostrom, he told me, I actually asked him how hard that bike is to ride, and look at there, the turbo horsepower takes over the lead there. But Ben said the bike was easier to ride than it looks like it would be.
Here's the thing with the turbos. Boy, do they get hot once they get going. And if they keep that thing together, it's awful hard to beat it. But the number 1 plate is back out front. Ben Bostrom in the number 2 spot. Hawk Mazzata on the Nowaski Performance bike in 3rd. And back in 4th, here comes Benny Carlson and Michael Gilbert, number 99 on the Mullet Alloy Art Road Glide. These guys were all within a 1/10 of a second, and we're looking in the car to the top 5 are all within the same corner. Then we have a little gap back to 6 through 12. And what a tough break for Corey West on the Saddleman Lloyd's Garage Indian, as it looked like it was something mechanical right on the starting line. They pushed him off, and now we find, I can see Nick Trask right now going mad. He's gotten the Sturgis Hall of Fame last year from New Zealand. He said all his friends told him, you're not going to get this done. He's like, not only am I going to get it done, let me show you how I'm going to put it out front, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, no question right now. He's getting with it. He's starting to gap Ben Bostrom a little bit. Looks like Ben ran a tiny bit wide on that corner, but he's got good exit speed holding it on. See what happens, and Hawk Mazzato is keeping Ben honest there. He's right there. Look at the bag. You can see the bag shaking around a little bit on this side. Most of those are all carbon fiber, and yes, they are empty. They do not have a gallon of milk.
But they will hold beer. Trust me, they will hold a six-pack. There's no question about it. They're completely functional in that aspect. Well, people say, oh, they're not really. No, the frame are stock. The motors all have VIN numbers. The transmissions. I mean, yeah. I think people have all changed their fork, shock, and swing arm on Harleys, because that's what you do when you get one, is change everything. So these things are pretty much, other than headlights, taillights, and things, you could plug one of these together and go ride it around. So don't think these are some handcrafted Exotica. You rode works bikes. These are race bikes.
I rode them both, trust me. But watch here, we can get a little insane Shane Narbonne. If we can see how he's kind of known for backing her in there. See that right there? You're backing in a 600-pound motorcycle, man. That's I was down there in qualifying today. I just stood in that corner and watched them come in. It was exciting to watch.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I was down there as well watching him going into those corners, and the way he just backs that bike in there is just absolutely insane.
And again, the La Perra turn number 1 there, we were talking about backing it in there. The inside, it's got a pretty darn good bump. And I mentioned that a couple of times today, but boy, I can't imagine hitting that bump on one of these beasts.
You know, one way to keep that comfortable when you're in La Perra turn 1 is have a La Perra seat on your bike. It'll absorb all the comfort. But Narbonne, Bostrom, Mazzotta, and Gilbert and Benny Carlson are battling back and forth over a spot out there. And it looks like Hawk Mazzato wants something to do.
Ben went way wide in that corner right there. He missed his marks, as we say. But he definitely went a little deeper than he wanted to. He's trying to push real hard to keep Shane in contact, and he went wide. And so now he's got to deal with the Hawk Mazzato right in his contend with him.
Yeah, and Hawk certainly no one to trifle with. Michael Wells is out there. Arnie Wells is out there, Tony Tucker, Steve Chamberlain back out, Rusty Gerard, Chris Rivas, Mike Vittel, Craig Braymiller. So they're not exactly where they want to be, but man, it's going to be something to look at, because I think Ben Bostrom is starting to come under it and Mazzotta has not made the pass. Now, these two work together. They were talking about doing all the training, getting the younger people involved. They work together on this. So this controversy and battle will go on for months as they're hanging around and, just kind of bench racing. That's where all the good stuff comes from.
You know, one thing I really noticed in this bagger, these top 3 riders right here have a lot of track time, and they're very skilled and veterans, and you can see they have very similar lines, unless someone goes a little bit wide. The other classes we saw, people were mixing up lines left and right, but these top guys kind of know the A line, and they're keeping their bikes pretty much stuck on it. And I talked to Shane Narbonne's crew yesterday and kind of asked him about it. The turbo. It's obviously you guys can make some big old horsepower, but they did say they kind of backed it down for this race. They got to make sure to finish first, you must first finish, and that's their motto here. So it still looks like it's more than competitive horsepower, but they also understand they got to get to the checker without having mechanical.
So these top 3 have put in a great ride. It goes all the way back to 12th spot. Michael Gilbert and Benny Carlson. I want to get an eyeball on them. I know that the race that they've been putting on has been back and forth. But Michael Gilbert, he's on that number 99 mullet. Hawk Mazzotta on the Nowoski Performance Road Glide. Ben Bostrom on the Fueling Road Glide. And Insane Shane Narbonne. That may be one of the better nicknames, wouldn't you say, Kyle?
Oh, I mean, on that machine he's riding, I would say so.
You'd have to be Insane Shane to have a 200 horsepower road glide that you're just shredding the course on.
I think so.
Nice big crowd of people turned out today to watch all the action, and Insane Shane Narbonne puts 205 horsepower of Trask turbo and backs it in the corner. Here comes Bostrom. Now these machines have 8 laps to battle. We add a couple to them, and I think their level of rider ability kind of gives them that experience to get these things delivered through all 8 laps of competition. Again, this is the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP. We're at the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, presented by Custom Dynamics. We're lining the Shineworks studio here. Insane Shane has shown what that bike's capable of. He was down at Daytona earlier this year, and coming off the big banks, he had some high mile per hour. He'll be back down there again in October to try to get that win. He knows that he tried to tune it up a little bit, he said, for the last race, and he needed to keep it within there. And Shane doing a good job. He had a battery failure on him, of all things. That's a tough break, isn't it?
It is. I mean, like you said, too, the level of skill down on that track is just absolutely incredible. You know, it's definitely something I feel honored to be a part of, just to say, you know, be able to be a part of this.
And you think about the experience level these guys all have. And I mean, like in Ben Bostrom's situation, too. And then it looks to me like right there, we had a little missed shift by Shane Narbonne, or he had struggled to get it in gear. It looked like that would appeared to me he was messing around with his left foot there.
And this is where the heat starts to come in, and metal starts to fatigue, and things start to change. And we've heard from everybody, you really have to take care of these, but you got to bring it home.
You have to manage the bikes. There's no question. It reminds me of back when I first started racing. Yeah, you could destroy an air-cooled 125 at 105 or 10-degree 40-minute moto. You had to manage the bike at the end. And right here, this one, you talked about this race being a little longer than the other ones. This is your premier Bagger GP class. Ben Bostrom, I think he's well aware that turbos make. He's well aware if he can keep pushing Shane a little hard to make him run that bike a little harder than they maybe want, that there's a chance something could happen. So we'll see. We'll see if the Shane Narbonne's team backed it off enough to make it be fast enough to win, but not too much. And then Ben Bostrom's wanting to push him all the way to the finish line to make him take it a little bit too far. So we'll see what happens.
Well, when we talk about what happens, let's look at some of the other riders that are out there. Carlson is in 5th. Steve Chamberlain, this guy has been
Iron Man,
legendary all day. What are you going to put him at? 6'3", 6'4"?
Oh, big boy.
Got to be 265, 280, somewhere in that thing. He gets on that bike and he manhandles that machine around the track. And have a rider that's obviously having a little bit of mechanical as he slows up, and the top 2 easily make their way around.
They had some nice camera work there, showing Ben Bostrom and Shane Narbonne going through the chicane in the back there, and Ben is just so smooth. Obviously, he's again rode at the highest level of the world superbike level, so you don't get there with not knowing what you're doing.
Having Ben on the podium would be amazing. Having him on the top step, I think, would be pretty spectacular. But Ben's not going to, like he said before, he goes, I'm having fun. I'm having a good time, But the racer comes out and even having a good time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Couple 2 to go. We've got, so at that point right now, still holding a comfortable lead. I think Ben's hoping, for his part, he's hoping something to happen, but nothing catastrophic. Just maybe a little bit of engine issues, but he's definitely battling for right now. He's Shane Narbonne keeping him honest.
Narbonne, Bostrom, Mazzata, Gilbert, and Benny Carlson are your top 5. Last time we checked, and it is still Steve Chamberlain in spot number 6.
Yeah, I mean, Ben was almost, he was about 9/10 of a second, almost a full second quicker that time, closed the gap down to less than a second. He's 3/4 of a second behind, so we'll see what happens. I know Shane had, had one lap in there, missed a shift and had another problem, but we'll see if he can close it down. He can get another almost 9/10. He'd be bleeding when he came by the finish line, so we'll see what happens.
There goes Rusty Gerard out there, number 47. He made a big drive out here. He's been shredding streets and canyons for years. He said, I'm going to get out there and mix it up with the boys. He's represented himself very well. We hope to see him back at future rounds. Great personality, good guy. Tony Tucker up there, now in the number 7 spot, so he's going to have to go to work on Steve Chamberlain. And Tony, right out of Ogden, Utah, so very close to this track. He'll be able to be home by dinner time.
Yeah, and Tony Tucker's probably literally half the, I mean, he's not a small man, but he's half the size that Steve Chamberlain weighs, so he's got a weight advantage there. We've got the white flag waving right here. Shane Narbonne is coming by, backing it in. There we go. Nice camera angle there. I just love to see him.
The first time that we saw people backing baggers in, I think people got scared first, and then after they were scared, they were impressed out of their mind, and then they just want to see it again. It's, you know.
It is so cool to watch.
It's an experience for sure.
It's like the ground almost shakes down there. It's such a...
That's a great shot right there, and we see, how about that pass, 2 at a time?
Yep.
That's Rusty Gerard down there mixing it up. Man, ever since drones came into play, it's really added a whole nother element to what's going on. You can see how the lines are out there on the track, why they chose to go inside or outside, whatever the scenario. So, man, just love the footage. Fans on both sides of the track today, loaded up on the backside, bunch on the front side. So, obviously, the crowd's coming out to check out the action. They heard about it. We had a big radio campaign, and obviously all these riders have been letting their friends and family know that, you know, this is something they're highly involved in. And it's
Shane Narbonne right now is pulling out just a nice, comfortable lead. He's going to have a nice, clean last lap. This is kind of last lap. If you're leading a race, this is what you want. I mean, you're just not really making any mistakes, not having to over-push it. And he's got himself a little bit of distance, actually. It looks to me putting a little bit quicker lap than the 155 of Ben Bostrom. So he looks, hopefully, he's no issues for him on the way in and take that number 1 bike. There's a reason why it has number 1 on it, right, Rob?
Yeah, he won the championship last year, and you know, again, he's another one of those guys, certainly a bigger, stronger rider. One of those checker flag, and it is Insane Shane Narbonne with the win. Ben Bostrom comes across the line in the number 2 spot.
Now he's doing a little off-roading through the gravel pit on that turbo.
Yeah, checkers out there. He just, you know.
It's okay.
It's an adventure bike, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Hawk Mazzata, great ride out there. I got to think Pistol Pete's pumped up about that. He'll be picking up some hardware down on the podium.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, somebody who just hasn't been racing much, like I said, turned 40 years old, just teaching kids how to ride and kind of off the couch and comes off the couch and ends up getting the thing on a podium. And it's not like he got beat by a couple of scrubs, huh? He got beat by some world caliber racers, and so that's a fantastic job by Hawk Mazzata.
Absolutely. Well, Brock, Rob, I really appreciate
you
the
got work to do, son.
I need to start running to the podium before I'm late over there. So
okay.
Thank you
very much. If you told Megan you were late, you'd be in big trouble.
Absolutely.
All right,
it's always great to see you guys.
Hey, thank you.
Let's take him through the top 10 here. Mike Vitale, number 117 and 10th. Rusty Gerard, number 47 and 9th. Chris Rivas, big-time drag racer, but now he's a road racer, number 8. He rides for Bassani. Tony Tucker, well, he rides for Tucker Speed. Steve Chamberlain, that's our guy. We're very excited about him.
Iron butt.
Michael Gilbert in 6th. Benny Carlson, Hawk Mazzata, Ben Bostrom, and Shane Narbonne brings home the number 1 spot. I think everybody moves up one.
1 spot, yeah. Yep.
1 spot, but yeah, it's everyone will move up one, but it's Shane Narbonne with the win. And tell you what, that was not a bad afternoon of racing. Perfect day. The beautiful sunshine was out. The temperature was ideal. The racers were finding some good inside-outside pass lines. I mean, who would have ever thought that at this day and age, that racecraft, as we often talk about it, that transferred over to this is really starting to pay dividends.
Yeah, and we talk about it. I just think it's so relatable. I mean, these bikes right here, as we get this nice drone footage down, we're running on the east course. You can see the first turn is right here on the left there, the front straightaway. It's such a nice facility here, and just such a relatable group of bikes that everybody understands. They can see people riding down the freeway on a very similar looking motorcycle, and and the bagger category in general is just really picked up in the last 6, 7, 8, 10 years, and that's where your dream came true, to have the baggers out on the tracks, because they're performance baggers now. No more low, now they're raised. They got real suspension on them, real brakes, and these now are not just for show, they're for go.
We've often talked about the custom bike market, for years when the choppers, they were super cool to look at, didn't turn or stop very well, and had very little suspension. Then they went from there through the 90s. It was take whatever you have and slam it on the ground. You can't get it low enough. And then after that, there was the big wheels and the return of the choppers with the massive tires. But none of those bikes did things well except look great, parked or hit the air button and slam it on the ground. But as soon as we were able to bring in better brakes, better suspension, more powerful engines, better ergonomics package so your hands weren't above your head when you ride. And all of a sudden, you could see just what's capable on these machines. And these riders are going to be making their way down to the podium. We'll have them lined up. We'll take one more commercial break, and when we come back, we're passing out the hardware in the Custom Dynamics Bagger GP. We'll be back in just a moment. Back live in the Shineworks studio, and you can see Insane Shane down there. That's Brian Bostic, a good friend of mine, and he's got the hands clapping. Tim Cotter down there running the podium. That guy, is there any rest in him? He rebuilt Loretta Lynn's. He runs motocross. He's down here. He's doing it all. So Insane Shane will be down there taking his top step. Hawk Mazzata's in the mix as well, and Ben Bostrom down there. I know that Kyle made his trip down there. I think we go down there, and Kristen Banks, who you talking to?
Thanks, Rob. I'm down here right now with Kyle Hoffman from Custom Dynamics, and he's about to hand out some hats and awards for these Bagger GP podium finishers. Thank you so much, Kyle, for being here. First off, we're going to start with third place. We have Hawk Mazzata. Hawk, this is not your first BRL race, but this is your first BRL podium. It takes a lot of work to put into these bikes for you guys to feel comfortable. What changes has your team made in order for you to get up on the podium here this year?
These guys, it's like what changes they haven't made. Nowaski Extreme Performance, thank you so much, Peter Nowaski and Matt. These guys are bike builders, custom bike builders out of Wisconsin, and they build incredible street bikes. So this is so new for them. It's so new for me. So we're all working as a team, and it's such an effort. So they deserve this. I'm so happy for them. So thank you, you guys. My wife, Nina, she's a part of the crew. She's due in like a couple months. She's just toughing it out. Dunlop, thanks you guys for the support this weekend. Hawk Mazzata Moto Camp. Anyone wants to learn how to ride a motorcycle, hit me up. Just One Helmets, Lucky, you guys, just BRL. Everybody, thank you very much. This is a great event, and I hope we can do more.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on that third place finish. Now we're moving on to second place. We have Ben Bostrom. Ben, that Fueling Racing team has hooked you up with quite the bagger, or should we call it the flying pig. Now, earlier today, you told me the bike is perfect, but the rider is the issue. What has changed? Because obviously you're on the podium. You're not just an average rider.
We're one better than we were last time, so we keep moving up, and we're with a couple of good buddies here. I was more disappointed to see the Indian break down the start line because I was like, man, I know there's going to be a battle. And even though I'm be watching it, right? Like, so I'm sure Shane and Hawk felt the same way. I want to ride bikes, Hawk. You said, I want to go. But, the Fueling guys have been just progressing on that bike. And I know I only ride a couple times a year, but, like, the bike is better than the rider. Even out there, I know it's hard to believe the Harley would miss a shift, but when the thing would roll around the corner in fourth, it'd still hold its line. I thought this bike is good. Rider needs to step it up a little bit. But really, congratulations to Shane and the boys there at Trash. They whipped us, and it was a good eye-opening thing. I think guys ride good. I thought I was going to have a good battle with Hawk, and something went askew except for me trying to get in your way. Sorry about that. So, but mainly big thanks to everyone and Rob Bidas for putting this thing on, for coming out, because this is about as much fun as you could have on any kind of bike. So it's really appreciated. And I don't know why you guys put up with us hooligans riding and beating on your equipment, but it's appreciated. So thank you.
Well, congratulations. Now, in first place, we have Insane Shane Narbone. Shane is our reigning Bagger GP champion. Shane, you honestly haven't had much time out on the track because you had a lot of transmission issues this weekend. Now, I'm being told that's because you ride the bike way too hard. That's probably why they call you Insane Shane. How were you able to go out there today and get it done?
Oh, I can't thank these guys enough. They bust their butt day in and day out. So it's amazing. Yeah, we had some problems yesterday, so we kind of lost a couple sessions there. But anyways, they busted their butt fixing it and getting it right. You know, we got some other new parts, new suspension for this weekend, and it was the first time on it. So you know, we were starting from scratch again. But all in all, we as a team we came together and got it really working well. I can't thank the whole Pirelli guys enough for. They helped us out all weekend, and I mean they help us out every year. So with them guys really behind us, it makes it even better.
Well, congratulations, and we can't wait to see all y'all at the next BRL event, hoping to change up the podium maybe. We'll see. Congrats, y'all.
Thank you very much, Kristen Banks. Well, Brock, we put another one in the first one of the 2022 season in the books. The BRL has handed out the wind belts. We've handed out the trophies. And these guys are getting ready to spray the champagne. I tell you, I think the race crowd, the fans, both sides of the track had a great afternoon here. And I really appreciate you coming here to be part of us. The folks from Racer Productions that came out that helped keep the organization, all the crew that helps with the BRL, Terry Reimer, Todd Gickling, obviously Lauren Bauer, both Kristen Banks and Lori that are down there keeping the podium active, Alex Mock and his entire crew. I think we got the best flagman in the game, I'd have to say. And for all the teams that have come out here, especially for all the folks that help with the BRL and all the support, we thank you very much. We promise to do our best every time, and we promise to try to get as good as we can. We want to thank everybody, Jimmy Perry, Tim Cotter, everybody that came out there and made this just a little bit more special. Brock, thank you very much. I hope everybody has a safe trip home. We can't wait to see you back on the next BRL event. We'll be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the early part of September. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel as well. And we thank you very much. From the Utah Motorsports campus, I'm Rob Bitus, telling everybody have an outstanding summer coming up before you. Take care, everybody.